Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Business, Life, and Other Bollocks. I'm your host, Mike Dunn. Now, today's guest is someone I find personally quite extraordinary. We were told a massive lie in the business world. If you work harder, sleep less, and grind yourself into the dirt, you'll win. We wear 80-hour-a-week caps, like a badge of honor almost. And we celebrate exhaustion on LinkedIn like it's incredible. But the reality is, it's not always like that. Now, today's guest is, for me, living proof that running a business, running yourself into the ground isn't actually a business strategy. And contrary to belief, you don't get a medal for it. In Katie's own words, she spent over 20 years building a career before finally launching the business she'd worked towards for years, only for success to nearly cost her everything. Now, I know there's going to be some people that hear that and think straight away, oh, I can relate to this. So buckle up because this is going to be a very hard-hitting episode, I think. Now she helps business owners expand their capacity instead of simply working harder. She also thinks it's a bit mad, which I agree with, that we've normalized entrepreneurs trying to figure out everything alone, as I know. So while the world's highest performers surround themselves with coaches, mentors, and people who challenge them, Katie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Ah, you're more than
Lovely to
welcome.
see you.
Ah, yes. So for those of you wondering, me and Katie actually went to school together. She's a year older than me, even though she looks about 5 years younger than me. Fucking grey hairs don't pay for themselves.
I dye
Katie's,
mine.
you can't dye a beard. If I did, I'd look,
Well, you can, but
I'd
it
look
look
weird.
weird. Yeah, you can't.
Someone actually got me beard dye for Secret Santa once, and that fucking really rattled me.
It's not a good look. You
No,
can tell it's not.
yeah, I
Yeah,
like the salt and pepper look with a little bit.
absolutely. Silver
Mike,
fox.
Mike and his technical beard. That's the way I see it. So yeah, Katie, welcome to the show. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on board. I mean what I said before. I think your story is very extraordinary. I think what you're doing is incredible. Um, One of the reasons I was really excited to get you on is because we've already touched on it. I myself have been at burnout stage, and we're going to talk about your story, of how you got there. But your mission now is to try and help people, as many people as possible. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
So for those listening, for those who don't know you, tell everyone a little bit about what you're doing.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for that introduction.
That's all right.
Yeah, I am tired of normalizing surviving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of it, and I don't think that we. I think society is kind of built up for that like badge
Mm,
of honor, like do more, smash this,
mm,
achieve that, which
mm,
again is great. I'm extremely ambitious, but not at the detriment to your own self-abandonment
mm,
because it's not sustainable.
mm,
And, people are talking about mental health
mm,
and wellness and things and which is great, right? Awareness is the start, but what happens after awareness? And it's
mm.
taking it that next level, not to a point where you feel like you've got to totally unravel your whole entire life
Yeah,
and
yeah.
go through intense therapy and it come across in that way.
Mm,
The way that I've altered and developed my own method is to attune into the person
mm.
because we're in society, we are put in so many different boxes.
Correct.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm I'm trying to empower that I don't want you to get to my place where I got to,
Yeah.
where I felt like I had no other choice than to leave the business
Mm,
or get to a point where I felt like I couldn't come back from
yeah,
that
yeah,
and I had to sell it.
yeah.
That might not mean that that's not the way to go,
Mm,
but ultimately helping business owners not get to that point
yeah.
of burnout because it's a hell of a lot harder to recover from than it is
Correct.
to prevent. So if we can prevent,
Well, prevention's better than cure, right?
for sure.
Because sometimes as business owners, and I've been there, and anyone listening will know my story. Um, you're right. You're spot on. You are when you set into the world of being an entrepreneur, business owner, whatever you want to call it. Everyone sees these posts. Got to work 80 hours a week, sacrifice everything. You can't go to this. You can't go to that. That's how you get there. Elements of it, I understand,
Mhm.
but there are parts of it now I look at. And think it's absolute bollocks.
Yeah.
I used to miss parties. I used to sacrifice time with my daughter thinking, I've got to be on LinkedIn sending these messages because that's what was sort of embedded into me. And it
100%.
was
Is
just
that survival?
and it was just the biggest load of bollocks because now I realise after 5 o'clock, no one's interested. Sometimes, okay, I'll reply to an email, but I will never sacrifice time with my kids ever again.
Love
That's the
that.
most important thing. My family come first before anything. And I've had to learn, like yourself, the hard way. But we're here to talk about your journey because I think it's incredible. So you're 19 years old, right?
Mhm. Well, I
And
was.
you were no,
20 years ago.
I know, yeah.
Oh my
Don't
god.
say
I
that.
don't feel old enough to say that.
I know. I look back now and I think, fuck me, like I speak to people I see in school, like yourself, and I think, "I'm so fucking old
I
now."
know.
But that's part of it. So let's go back to when you were 19
Yes.
years old. You started in a quite high stress, target driven job. Tell us about that.
I'll go a little bit earlier than
Yeah,
that.
go on.
So, I was never that kid at school that, knew that I wasn't that little girl that wanted to be a nurse
Yeah.
or a doctor or a vet. I didn't wanna be any of those things. I just wanted to be successful,
Mm.
and I always remember, like, loved working with a till, and I probably disappointed my mum and dad a hell of a lot when I was a kid because I was like, "I just wanna work in a pub. I wanna work in Mackies," because it's I know, it's tragic.
No, but it's not. Sorry, just to cut you off. I actually interview more people that have worked in McDonald's than anywhere else.
Interesting. I love that. And what I know now was that what I wanted was that like human interaction,
Yeah, yeah,
but also that just that like human exchange
yeah,
was what I wanted.
yeah.
But I loved working with tills. I always played with my till when I was a kid. So when I was 13, mates were hanging around the park. I was like, great, but I'm going to go and get a Saturday job.
Mm.
So I remember walking through town on a Saturday, got the bus into town when the buses were like 20p. I'm that old. And
You can't even pay with cash anymore on a bus.
don't even get me
That
started. Cash is king,
cash is
people.
king.
Cash is king.
Not
That's
to
another
not to
story.
Arriva.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
100%.
Fuck that, mate. Get your
See ya.
card out.
See ya. And, I did. I told a little white lie, and I said that I was 15 when I was 13, and I got a Saturday job in some hairdressers.
Okay.
Started working around, and then I got a job in a different one, and then they said I started like, "Oh, I could be a hairdresser," but I never wanted to be a hairdresser for the rest of my life. I wanted a brand. I wanted, like, Toni& and Guy. I wanted
Yeah, yeah,
products. I wanted shops. I wanted this, that, and the other.
yeah. Mm.
Had to be a hairdresser. Anyway, as I was in school, they were already putting me through my training, and then, um, got into a relationship and took a different path and went
Mm.
and got a job basically, without going into too much detail about that. Um, I feel like I just need to watch that because I don't wanna slag anybody off.
No, no.
Yeah.
Well, listen, at the
I
end of
just
the
don't wanna
day,
slag
this
anybody
is
off.
your story. You
Yeah.
you say as much as you want or as
Okay.
little as you need.
Someone said to me, "Do you wanna be a hairdresser?" I thought it's a shit job, and I was quite impressionable.
Mm.
And so I was like, "Oh, okay." So I went and got a job where my mum worked,
Yeah.
in a mortgage company.
Okay.
Smashed it, worked my way up really, really quickly, doing different jobs. And I was very much one of these kids where I was like, "All right, great, I've mastered that. What's next?
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
next?"
yeah, yeah.
And there wasn't anything else for me to do. So anyway, over those years until I was 19, within 3 years, I worked my way up really, really quickly.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, found this job advertisement on totaljobs.com at the point where I was engaged to be married. I was going to be moving down to Oxford and being an army wife, all the things. Um, I applied for this job and it was like mortgage underwriter, Milan, Barcelona, London, all around Europe. And I was like, I'll
Yeah.
just send me CV, whatever. Didn't think anything of it because I was just hungry to progress and like
Mhm.
learn and like be successful. And because no one, I don't think anyone really dreams of being like in the mortgage industry.
Mm.
I've never come across
But you might,
anybody.
people could listen to this and be inspired by it.
Maybe.
They might listen to it and go,
Y-
"Fuck that."
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Like
that's the beautiful
absolutely
thing
not.
about life, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
And then anyway, 3, 4 weeks later, I was eating my tea, still living with my mum and dad, and my mum said, "Oh, hey, there's a posh guy on the phone for you." I was like, "Hello, is that Katie Dodd?" I was like, "Oh, yeah." Anyway, got offered the job, and I was overnight. I was self-employed contractor working all around the UK and Europe.
Mm.
My first job was in the middle of London City in this massive bank auditing. It was literally when the financial crash was happening,
Oh, right, okay.
2008. Learned shitloads and yeah, worked all the way around Europe, auditing different banks' processes and
Wow.
eating out every night with, you know, on 300 quid a day. I was having a lovely time.
Yeah, yeah. It's mad though, isn't it? Because people will hear that and go, "Oh, fucking hell." But that's when things start, isn't it? Because you get embedded into things so quickly.
Yeah.
I remember my first job in sales. I remember I worked at MBNA and I was a on the old, like, recruitment side of it. I was a part, was contracted, if you like, through
Mm.
with Randstad. And I can remember earning a fortune there,
Mhm.
and I loved it.
Mhm.
But then the ugly side of it was I was away. I
Mhm.
was working long hours,
That's it.
and I think any job that's high intensity like that, when you start young, you just take it for granted, don't you?
Yeah,
And
100%.
that's when it starts. So obviously you're going all around Europe. You're looking back. Did that early environment sort of warp your definition of success before you even had a chance to figure out what you were like outside of work?
Love that question. Um, it made me see the world. I
Yeah,
remember my sisters used to take the piss out of me for eating sea bass and,
yeah.
tasting a wine
They,
before I got served at a table. Do you know what I mean?
and they're
It's
20 years old. Oh, can I taste that Chardonnay, please? Your
yeah.
sister's like looking at a blue wicked going, what the fuck are you doing?
Basically, it's not Blossom Hill, is it? Do you know what I mean? Me saying Pinot
Therefore,
Grigio, they were like, "The
fuck
fuck?"
is that?
Yeah,
Actually, I
basically.
forgot you have two sisters, haven't
Yeah,
you? Yeah. Are they one older, one younger? Or is it,
I'm the
you're the
youngest.
youngest. Yeah,
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 yeah.
that's right.
Um, so yeah, it opened my eyes to a lot. I saw more than what I would see just working in offices,
Yeah, yeah.
locally and stuff. But it definitely got me accustomed to a certain type of salary, which, yeah, I didn't save a load. I lived a lot, went on holiday whenever I
W
wanted to and stuff,
well,
you know?
I get right, so I understand that because I've looked back and I've said, "I should have a house by now," but then I can't. The memories are there once only,
That's it.
and that's what I tell everyone is live you always live within your means, right?
Hmm.
That's number one, but then the more money you earn, the more money you're gonna spend,
Exactly.
and get it some people are savvy with their money and go, "Oh, I've got this." I'm like, "You do you."
Yeah.
I fucking love traveling.
It's just getting the balance, for
Yeah.
sure.
We've been like, this year alone, I've had the chance to go to Prague, I've been to Nice, my brother's wedding, I went to Benidorm. Fucking
Venice,
oh my god, 10
Venice.
out of 10, wouldn't do it again.
My
And then we're
husband's
going to
going in September.
and then we're going to Rhodes for a family holiday in 2 weeks. So it's like, everyone's saying, "Oh, you've got a really expensive year." It's like, but I've seen places that I've never been before, so it's
Yeah.
like, do I want my money to go on the grind and, this and that? I'm still able to do everything I wanna do, but
Yeah.
them memories that I agree with you, you only get them once, right?
Yeah. 100%.
But going back to that though, did you feel that you sort of lost your way outside of work because you were so, 'cause you obviously thrown yourself in at 19 years old. You think about a lot of 19-year-olds now, they're in uni.
Yeah.
You took that
Well,
leap.
my mum and dad were splitting up.
Uh,
So all this happened at a really interesting time
mm,
because I then the I was engaged, like I said, the wedding got called off and I started this job. He went to Iraq, he was in the army.
mm,
My mum and dad were splitting up. There was a shitload of change going on. And I was like, I'm not choosing to live with my mum and dad. So I chose to rent an apartment with my friend while
yeah,
she
yeah.
was in uni. So the weeks that I could choose not to work, she was at Chester Uni. We lived together. I was kind of having the uni lifestyle, but not in
Mm.
uni. Like I was going on all the netball socials and with them and everything. And I was having like this best of both. I'm earning a shit ton of money. And then I can have weeks off whenever I wanted and just like
Yeah,
go
yeah,
out and just like have loads of fun. So that whole transition period was incredibly difficult to navigate. Then the relationship ended, and then I continued working, and then was single for a while, and then I met my now husband,
yeah, yeah,
and that's when I was like, I don't want to work away all the time. I don't
yeah,
want that.
mm,
So I think it didn't do me any harm. It helped me see a lot, and it
yeah,
gave me opportunity to not. I think if anything, when I reflect on it now, it's a great question again. It probably helped me not go into any type of darkness at that point in my
yeah,
life.
yeah, yeah,
If I
yeah.
think about it now, it
Well, you
was
can go
like
one of two ways, can't you? Because if you're out
yeah,
and about all the time and you're doing all this,
yeah.
it's like the story of the two twin brothers, right? They grow up, one to be an alcoholic, one to be successful. They get
Mm,
asked the same question: "Why are you the way you are?" And they have the same answer: "My dad. My dad was an alcoholic."
mhm,
You got to choose what you want to do, and I think the fact you
exactly.
were so young and you've obviously you've obviously always had this way of looking at life. Does that come from the
Survival.
parents? Does that come from the background? If you don't mind me asking,
No, I don't mind you asking. My mum was always at home. She was a housewife until I mean, I'm the youngest, so I was like maybe 12.
right?
I rode horses. I had an amazing childhood. I
Mhm,
say this. I never went without. My dad was self-employed.
mhm.
We went out every Sunday, but emotionally, probably not the best environment.
Okay.
Basically, there was like mum and dad didn't get on. There was drama,
Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
the things. So I feel like for me, in my experience, I've spent a lot of my life being really misunderstood
Right. Okay.
and something to prove,
Yeah.
to perform.
Mm.
So it kind of gave me that drive
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
well, I'm going to fucking do it. Don't tell
Yeah,
me I
yeah, yeah, yeah,
can't.
yeah.
I'm going to do it. Don't
Yeah.
tell me no, tell me why. I'm very much one of
A lot
those.
of people that say you can't do it are the ones that haven't be arsed trying.
Yeah,
And that's why I say to
exactly.
everyone, it's like, you get told you can't do something by someone that hasn't tried it themselves,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's
it.
fine, but I always so if someone ever says that to me, "You can't do that," my answer is, "Well, when did you try it?"
Yeah.
And if they say I haven't, I say, "Well, how the fuck do you know then?"
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
not me being an arsehole.
yeah,
It's just a genuine way of looking at life.
yeah.
'Cause I had it all the time, you can't
It's a
do that.
choice.
You can't work from home. You can't be self-employed,
Yeah.
you know? So,
But
fucking
I used to get like, "What, you're changing jobs again?" I was
mm,
like, "Yeah, well, I've literally exhausted what I can do here, and I don't just want to settle.
mm,
I'm hungry."
yeah, yeah.
But now I know the more I've obviously sort of gone into things, there was definitely a performance, like a survival. It was
Yeah,
never gonna be enough.
yeah, well, I was gonna say, yeah, you spent over 2 decades in a world that was built entirely on targets, volume,
Mhm.
pipelines. Um, what does that living that kind of what does living on that kind of constant high alert adrenaline loop do to a person's brain over 20 years? I mean, how do you distinguish between actual ambition and just being addicted to stress?
Question.
I'm
That's
full
a
of them.
good question. I love it.
I've spent a good week
I love
practicing
it.
these.
And the thing is, right, I am extremely ambitious now, like I
Yeah,
said, I think I said at the start, but I will not self-sacrifice.
correct.
But there's also a balance between that and self-sacrificing and staying small out of fear.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a very fine line, and being able to sort of like cultivate this connection with
Mm.
myself that can check myself and catch myself, but then also have my own coach
Yeah,
to
yeah.
catch me as well. Because I'm as much as I'm a coach now, I still have my own blind spots. I've got no ego about that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I've
the
heard that by a few people. Everyone says if you're a business owner, you should have a coach. It's something I'm looking into at the moment,
mm,
because I believe that everyone has to unpack,
exactly.
especially stress, especially high level. I mean, I'm not in your job, but I've been in sales and I've had to have,
Well, yeah,
well,
sales,
sales is it's the most. I always say you'll never find a job that will take you to that limit more than sales. Anything to do with
100%.
numbers where you've got to be targeted. Sorry, I've interrupted you there. Go
No, no, you didn't. You're fine. It targets, and especially when you've got that corporate sort of pressure, 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 more,
on.
more, more. It's just a culture that gets developed.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, even when you look back at how we're conditioned from when we're kids, more is more. You need to
yeah,
do
yeah.
more, do more, do more. It's like, well, schools teach you how to regulate, to rest, to recharge.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? Like they don't do any of that. So going back to your question is what's the impact of that high output? That the impact can absolutely be immeasurable success, AKA the house, the cars, the
Yeah,
holidays,
yeah,
the
yeah,
clothes, the gram,
yeah.
what it's all looking like externally. But unless you're able to have that other side
Mm.
prolonged without any sort of recharging or any sort of tools to regulate, you are eventually going to burn out. And for me, it
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
when I was 32, 33. Well,
Right.
kind of started really when I was 29, 10 years ago.
Oh, really? And
Yeah, that's when it really
did
started.
you feel like with that when you were that age, you could feel something was going on, but you were just so, conditioned to be like, "I've gotta do this, I've gotta do that."
I feel like, so my journey, right? My journey of seeing life differently and the world differently, myself differently, all happened, nothing to do with career. It happened, I had a miscarriage in
Oh,
2016 and I it was literally my worst nightmare come true. I was never one of those women that was like, "Oh my god, pregnancy, it's amazing." I was like, "Looks fucking weird."
mm,
Like, you're growing something inside you.
yeah.
If I could pay for my mindset was if, "Oh my god, if I could pay for a surrogate, I would."
You
Like,
sound
literally, that
you
was my
literally sound like my
mindset.
wife when I first got with her.
Really?
She was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck." I'm sure what I was saying, but Charm was like, "I don't know if I want kids."
Yeah.
And I come from a big family, so I was like, "Well, I do," but I always respect her.
Yeah.
And like you, once again, not to cut over you, we had our daughter, 10 years ago, then unfortunately we lost, 3 along the way. So I completely sympathize, and I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
Thank you, and me too for you. But I always used to, even a year when I got pregnant with my daughter in 2017, I purposely waited for a while.
Mm,
And even a year after, people used to get really fucking triggered when I say this, and I say this from my experience because it was a reframe. I'm grateful it happened because something fucking woke me up,
yeah,
right? At that point, I slipped into a really bad dose of PTSD
mm,
afterwards. I remember we booked a holiday to Dubai, and I remember one night just literally sitting in my living room with Jim, my husband, and all of a sudden I was like, I literally felt like, "Shit, the world's gonna end." And I was like, and he was just looked at me, he was like, "Hey, what's the matter? We're just watching TV." And I was like, "I don't know what, I just feel like something's gonna go, I feel like something's about to happen." Obviously, that's anxiety.
yeah,
Oh my God, I was seeing a therapist. I nearly never got on the plane. I did get on the plane, cried the whole way there.
Bless you.
And the first day, oh my God, it was just awful. And like Jim's like, we live to go on holiday. Like that's what we do. We
Mm.
travel. And I remember we'd been there all day and it was the first night we were sat in this Italian restaurant and I was just like, I was literally just
Yeah.
shaking. I was like, fuck me. And he went, "Hey, what's wrong?" And I went, "I just want to go home. I
Yeah.
just wanted to go home." And he literally carried me to the hotel room and I woke up and rang the girl who booked our holidays and she was like, "I can get you a flight in 2 days, otherwise it's going to cost you 4 grand or something." And I was
Mm.
like, I haven't got 4 grand. I was like,
Mm.
right. And then I thought, well, if we're going home in 2 days, I can stay another 5 or 4. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? It
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, well, no, it's not gonna beat me. So we stayed and we did end up having a nice time. And that was kind of like the catalyst. And the reason why this was why the start of my journey was for me is because as much as I was scared about something, I went to the doctors and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna put you on beta blockers." And I was like,
Mm.
no judgment for me. A lot of my family had been on antidepressants. There'd already been suicide in my family. I was
Mm.
like, well, it's not like a massive um there's not a lot of proof there that that's the right way or a way that's gonna be work that's gonna
And
work.
plus, everyone's got their own opinion on it, right? And
Yeah.
this is why when people say, "I don't want to trigger people," it's like, no, no. People are going to get triggered whether you say
Oh, it's
that.
my middle name should have been Trigger. I trigger everyone.
But the problem you got is, though, is no, you are going to trigger people whether you say what they want to hear or what they don't. That is just the. I say this, you can be the nicest fucking person in the world and people will hate you. Why do you think people root for the bad guy in a film?
Exactly.
Because it's their other side, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's a mirror.
yeah.
At some point, if you're triggered by something, it's because there's something generally within
Yeah.
you that maybe might need looking at. So anyway, I spent that 9 months. That's when I started looking into like alternative therapies and stuff. And anyway, I got pregnant by choice then in the following February,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'd gone from the girl that was so scared of hospitals
Mm.
and all of that worst nightmare come true. So I had a lot of proof, right, that pregnancy's scary or yeah, underlying proof.
Mm.
But I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to spend the next 9 months in this pregnancy stressed out and scared.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I made a choice and I ended up trying to have a home birth. It didn't happen in the end, but fine. But I went totally 360 because I chose. I chose to learn from that situation. I chose to make something
Mm.
of it. Um, and I ended up having a beautiful pregnancy. It was the
Amazing.
best I've ever felt. Not the birth I wanted. That's another story. But
Mm.
I tried, and yeah, I felt great.
Yeah. Sean wanted 2 home births, both times C-section.
Yeah, I had a
And
C-section.
she was like, "Fuck's sake."
Yeah.
But like you say, like we had Scarlett 10 years ago. We didn't think we'd have any more. And then Parker came along and, he's like a fucking bundle, just a chubby little blonde.
Oh,
When he was born, Sean held him and she went, "Why does he look like your fucking dad?" He
really?
just looked like me, dad.
Rumor.
He had this old man's face. Sorry, not old man. He had like an older man's face on a baby's body, but oh, you'll see, he's beautiful.
Oh, I
Um,
love that for you.
but yeah, it's, look, it is hard. Like anytime when you watch, and I'm sure Jim will relate to it, when you watch your wife go through something so traumatic, you almost have a level of helplessness.
For sure.
Like, what can I do that's gonna stop this? And the reality is unfortunately, no matter what you say or how you act or sometimes how you plug into someone, you're not gonna make it. You haven't got all the right answers.
No,
So sometimes you just need to let people be. Let them
exactly.
cry. Let them come to you and say, "I'm sorry." And I just learned that if helping her is giving her space and silence, then that's what I need to do. And because I've got ADHD, I'm always like, "What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?"
Yeah.
And sometimes she'll be saying, "I go, you all right?" She'll be like, "Mike, I'm fine."
Yeah.
But I'm trying to, I'm still trying to navigate my way through figuring out how to approach things.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'm honestly, I'm just a bucket of shit.
I don't like that self-talk, Mike, that you've
No.
got there. I'm definitely gonna I'm just gonna go on that and go, "You don't need to talk like
No,
that,
I know
but
everyone
it's
says that.
alright."
I just try and find a funny in
I
everything.
know. It's not
Um,
a bad thing.
so the next thing is I've got to ask you here. Why do I fucking? I was watching this thinking, does he not know what he's doing?
I do.
um, so this is something that's someone else. In 2019, you co-founded your own brokerage.
Mhm.
That's the ultimate dream for most corporate
Mhm.
players, isn't it? You got your
Mhm.
own business. You've worked your way. I'm going to do it. And I set my business up in 2020. Fucking hell.
Oh, it was
Um,
literally, yeah, 6 months before.
yeah. When you got the keys to the office, did you genuinely believe you finally made it? and the pressure would ease up, or did you immediately start moving the goalposts?
Unfortunately, and this is the sneaky thing about burnout, those pictures on that day I was open in the office, I was probably at my lowest. You
Mm.
would never know. If you were to ever find those pictures on Instagram, which they'd be there, you wouldn't have a clue. Jim knew what was going on behind closed
How
doors.
did he feel when he knew you were about to open this, knowing?
I was in that survival. I was like, "Well, what's happening?
Mm,
So I'm just busy. I just need to do this." Like, we were doing, like, 25, 30K months as a new
mm.
brokerage.
Yeah, yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, we were literally flying, and that's when I knew. That's when it was like, "Fucking hell."
And
Like,
then COVID came along as
well,
well.
no, COVID had already been.
Oh god, yeah, 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 of
Yeah.
course, yeah, sorry.
No, no, don't worry. So in 2019, me and my business partner, we started the business, and it was very much for me, do I launch the business or do I have another baby? Business or baby? I was like, do the business, do that, then I'll get the baby, which hasn't happened, but another story. But we launched it from our bedrooms. He lived in on the Wirral, I was in Chester, and then COVID hit, and it was like, oh my God,
Mm,
6 months in, no furlough, all of that.
mm,
Anyway, went into hyper survival, right?
mm.
Even more so because you're starting a new business. You're
Yeah, yeah,
kind of already in survival. There's a lot
yeah,
more
yeah.
output. COVID hit, and then a few months after, the whole stamp duty got lifted, and then all of a sudden, there's all this business, which is amazing, right?
Mm.
I wasn't ready to handle all of that because I
Yeah,
still
yeah,
had a young daughter at home. I
yeah,
didn't want to have a business to take over the world and forget being a mom,
yeah, yeah,
because for me, being a mom was the most important job,
correct.
and it is now.
Yeah,
And again, some women will go, "Oh, you can have it all." You can have it all, but I don't think society actually educates women or empowers them to know, actually, no, being a mom is and being a parent
mm.
is fundamentally one of the most important things you could be.
It's the only job where no matter how shit you are on a day, they still need you.
Their priority.
Yeah, and even as a dad, I mean, we launched in January 2020,
Wow.
3 months
3
before.
months.
Yeah, yeah, nothing, no furlough, nothing. And I used to say to my clients, "I'll work for free."
Yeah.
And then
Bless
I
her.
actually came across TikTok at the time, and
Mm.
I got paid to do TikTok videos.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, cringy as fuck, but honestly,
It's all right, mate. You did what you needed to
yeah,
do.
that's it. I had to
I say
survive.
now, if I have to go and work back in a pub, I'm an arse. I'll do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
I haven't, yeah, got to do what you
yeah,
got to do.
absolutely. And I think that what you said before was similar to me with COVID. It was the best thing that ever happened to me
Mm.
because I had to learn straight away. My nan passed away January 27th, and the business launched January 6th. I was incredibly close to my nan. No bereavement time off. We had the
Mm.
first client on board by Feb, second one by March, and then we had two more in April. We were due to take a staff member on due to moving offices, and then COVID hit.
Mm.
And I think looking back, even though it was such a weird time, um, I'm grateful for it. And I know there's people that lost homes and loved ones, and I don't mean it in that context. I mean, from a business owner standpoint, I was able to learn more about that survival mode
Mm.
than just everything going tickety bill.
Yeah.
Would we be in a different place? It happened, probably.
Yeah, but what's the point in
But
thinking
but but
about
but
that?
exactly, yeah, it's the flip side, right?
Yeah.
And that's it's the beautiful thing about looking at things on the other side as if it didn't happen. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. That's what my wife
Mhm.
says. Hindsight is a wonderful thing.
Mhm.
But on the plus side, I learned more about me and how strong I was.
Mm.
I had
I
a
love
lot of
that.
backlash from my old boss. He was an absolute prick online. We had a lot of things post about us, and I just kept going and
Yeah.
kept going, and I kept through. And it was like every time I didn't think I could do something, I just kept saying I'm gonna do it anyway,
Yeah.
and I just kept, and that was it. And then we've had some fucking big setbacks. We've nearly lost everything. Like I said
Mm.
before, we've been at the point of what are we doing?
Mm.
But that is where your survival skills have to come in, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. And that's where, with this whole survival piece,
Mm,
we can look at it in the frame and be grateful for that we've been able to achieve the things we've been able to achieve.
mm,
But the problem is that that constant output or being in that constant space of survival is going to catch up with you at some
mm,
point, whether you're 32, 29, 64,
mm.
44. It's not sustainable.
Yeah, yeah.
End of story.
No,
Like,
it's not.
and burnout doesn't necessarily mean you then suffer a breakdown, basically, which is what can happen. It also shows up in your health
Mm,
that we just, again, normalize. Whether you're not sleeping, you're putting weight on, your libido's gone,
mm.
you know what I mean? Like, these are all big
Yeah,
things
yeah, yeah.
that actually it's like, "Oh, shit. Oh, didn't think about that."
I think you'll agree with me 'cause I know you love your gym, you into your fitness. I was like when COVID kind of ended, I was like, I look back at myself, I was like 3.5 stone heavier,
Mm.
right? And
Well, they shut the gyms, didn't they?
well, this is it. So I went back to the gym.
They opened the off licenses, but they shut the gym.
Yeah, and takeaways and stuff. Yeah, well, that's another conversation,
That's
another
another
story.
podcast.
That's don't start me on that one.
I
But
think we might be aligned there then.
yeah, I lost my shit with that
Yeah.
because a lot of people use COVID to get in shape, and a lot of people were just drinking. And I think with us, I did turn to that way. I
Mm.
was in the garden every day. I
Mm.
was doing TikTok videos and getting paid for it. It
That's
was a
it.
piece of piss, right?
Yeah.
But then I went back to the gym. I said to my wife, I was like, I'm going back to the gym. I need to get in shape. So, fast forward 6 of it years, 3 stone lighter, it's probably the best thing I ever did.
Mm.
And I think that moment of I'm going to really start eating better, I'm going to start talking more, I'm going to start reading more. I noticed there was like a pressure shift in my brain. It felt like I got a tap and just slowly, because I'm a creature of habit and I'm an extreme. So if I want to go to the gym every day, I'm going to go to the gym. If I want to drink, I'm going to have a drink. So I've never got a middle.
Got you.
But then what happened was because I was doing it every day, you just felt this little bit of pressure ease.
Mm.
And it was felt amazing. And I say to everyone all the time, you go to the gym, no,
Mm.
can't afford it, but you can afford £100 on takeaways a month,
There you go.
right? So
Perception
exactly, and
and
that's
perspective.
yeah, and I don't mean to put anyone down listening to that. There's a chap that goes to our work, and I don't mean I even buy this. He said I haven't got time, and I said I'm sorry. I was like I'm not going to be full Molly May. I was like, but I run a business, and I've got 2 kids, and I've got you guys. I said you go to the pub after work about an hour. I said you can go and lift the weight for an hour.
Exactly. And I'll add to that with some science, right? When you're in that high stress output, I'm going
Mm,
to explain a bit of physiology, right? When you're in that high output, high focused, stressful survival state, your your vision is very tunnel vision.
mm.
Because if you think about it, when let's say that our ancestors, right?
Mhm.
This is totally going off on a bit of a
No, no,
tangent,
go on.
but there's science. I'm giving an analogy to it. So our ancestors may have been living in caves,
Mm,
right? And there was bears and lions and shit about,
mm,
right? And if they potentially were also, or in our days now, let's say you were going to be attacked, what do? You go quiet,
mm,
right? Your body needs to pump you full of adrenaline and cortisol and everything to get shit done.
mm,
But also back in our ancestors is that they would have needed to flood our systems with the same chemicals in order to run,
mm.
to stay high alert. If there was a rustle in the rustle in the bushes over here or over here, you get hyper aware of
Mm.
what's going on and you become very hypersensitive to the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
situations around you.
Love that.
Very similarly to when you're in business and when you've got to survive, you've got to make this work, you need to make the sales, you need to do all these things. Your vision goes very tunnel vision because it's like you get locked in, and if I need to run, I need to go there, or if I need to achieve that target, you go there. When you're able to then calm the system
Mm,
down and alter your approach, what happens is rather that tunnel vision just being very sort of locked in and
mm.
focused, what happens is that your point changes and you're physically able to see more,
Yeah, yeah.
which is why on holiday, sometimes when you're able, after maybe 2 or 3 days of being on holiday, it might take people generally that long to just like calm down a little
Switch
bit.
off, yeah.
They get a bit more philosophical. They get a bit more, hmm, do you know what? I haven't thought about such and such for a
Mm.
while. Things start dropping in
Yeah, yeah.
because their capacity has increased because their actual physical, their body isn't being pumped as much full of that cortisol and adrenaline.
Yeah.
They're starting to calm down, which makes them be able to see things more clearly. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
100%. I love that. And so talking about like fitness and stuff, when I go away on holiday, I'll still go to the gym on
Mhm.
holiday.
Mhm.
My wife started her fitness journey. I know she remember me saying this. I'd say about a year ago, she really said, I'm going to start. And, she's lost 2 stone. She's the
Wow.
best. She's obsessed with the gym.
Wow.
And you can watch it in people, the way they look, the way they feel. And I know there's people I know that take the Manjaro and it helps them. And I say, look, whatever's going to make you feel better about you, you do it. Don't let other people get into your brain and say you shouldn't be doing that. You should have. I get it. I get people saying you're going to lose weight, then you're going to put it back on. But if people want to feel good about themselves, let them be.
True. True. I'm gonna challenge that only very slightly
No.
because I agree with you to a certain extent, but then actually, when we're not very resilient, we think that we haven't got we're not going to achieve
Yeah, yeah.
because our society, 1st of January, for example,
Mm.
right, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days
Yeah,
and I'm going
yeah.
to totally change my life for 7 days. And it's like, you're fucking setting yourself up to fail.
Yeah, yeah,
This is
yeah.
about starting things slow.
Yeah,
What is it? The hare and the tortoise.
yeah,
The
yeah.
tortoise ends up winning the race.
Yeah.
It's literally the same thing. But if we're able to help people build their resilience and their awareness and their own empowerment to go, "Do you know what? I fucking did that today. I can
Mm.
do something better
Yeah,
tomorrow,"
yeah, yeah.
or empower people by choices. That's my approach. That's my lens to go. Manjaro is like generally is going to be the last resort,
Mm.
not the
Well,
crutch to go to. It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
the go to thing to do. It's like you're way more powerful than what you
I
realize.
agree.
Do you know what I
So
mean?
I went to a school the other day doing a talk to children with ADHD and autism, and I said, when you don't get something right the first time, it's like lifting a weight for the first time.
The muscle,
You don't do it right though, do you? Your form's maybe a
exactly.
bit off. Repetition comes in. You get
Hmm.
stronger. You get more aware. You learn new workouts. I say it's like when you start learning to walk. When you watch, like watching my son learning to walk at the moment, he's taking a few little steps, right?
All
But he
over.
gets up, does it again. Gets up, does it again. I said, when you're a child, you start learning to do things systematically because that's
Yeah.
what we are taught to do. And I was like, and that's the way life is. I was like, you do it once and you may not do it right. You do it the
Hmm.
second time, it might be a bit better. I was like, and it's just repetition and it's not wanting to give up, is it?
Yeah.
It's like business. First ever, the first proposal I ever sent in business. Fucking hell. Oh, God, you could tell I had dyslexia. There were spelling mistakes. I had to pay, I had like all my values at the bottom and I had the value of, what was it? It was like quality, transparency, something else, but I put the one thing twice and I was like, well,
Oh,
I said that consistency was put twice. I went, well, I'm consistent.
well, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. And
That's
she found worked and
reframe.
I was like, no,
Love
there you
that
go. So it's like you've got to, I think you have got to fail a few times
for sure.
and you think you've got to make a few bad shit decisions. And I know
For sure.
we're here to talk about burnout, but I think it's all relatable.
It is relatable because, and all this mindset is incredibly healthy.
Mm.
But if you're talking to somebody that is on the floor, would you have the ability to have that mindset in September last year?
Oh my God. So I'm going a bit deep, and there's people going to be listening to this that will put booking out. So September last year, I hit rock bottom. 8th of September, I was done. I was ready to kill myself. I phoned the Samaritans last minute. They've been amazing. Um, and I was still going to the gym, but I wasn't there mentally.
Yeah. You're doing.
I was just, I was walking sort of into oblivion.
Yeah.
I went to the gym and I left and I got to the office and I thought, I'm done. I don't, to this day, it's all a bit of a blur, but no, it's fine. Look, I talk about it, and I want to talk about it because it's important that we normalize. It's gonna sound weird that we normalize these moments of "fuck, I am done," because there's people out there who don't get to that stage, and it's
Hmm.
not nice. I've lost a couple of friends in the last 12 months from suicide, and it's incredibly hard to hear
It's
because
tragic.
you feel selfish that you were there and you've had that thought, but you can't. But then at the same time, I think, well, I came out the other side, so how can I help someone?
Mm.
And like you said before we came on, can't help everyone. It
I'm
starts
not
with people
supposed
wanting to
to.
help themselves. Yeah, but we can't, right?
Yeah.
If you could help every single person in the world felt like that, you would. But
Yeah.
you can't.
That's
So,
setting yourself up to fail. That's an
and then
unrealistic
what happens
goal.
is you get burnt out trying to help others,
Exactly.
and that's where I
There's
was.
a self-abandonment piece, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You've got to check that you can have this sustainable success, but not abandon yourself in the process. Do you know what I mean?
and I've been there.
Yeah.
There's been times I've been trying to help other people, and really should have been helping me.
Yeah.
And okay, give me a little bit of love for myself. Like, oh, help that person, but then I'm fucked myself.
Yeah.
I'm at home like, "Oh, fucking done in now." I'm
Exactly. You're
absolutely
spent.
yeah, yeah, and
That's
I'm not
it.
well, who am I? No, I'm no good to anyone then, am I?
Exactly.
Um,
And again, all the and do you know what? Sometimes even for entrepreneurs, Mike, is someone like you've got like a depth of an awareness now.
mm,
Maybe you've already had it, whatever it is, but the way you're talking today, and then a lot of people will be the same. And then you can also then have that layer of shame to be like, but I know all the things. Why am I still feeling like
yeah,
this?
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And that's where it's like the way I work with people is to go, it's all right. The why, like find out the why so that you kind of like connecting a lot of the dots in order for you to go forward.
yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Because when we're stressed and when we've got a lot on, we do feel powerless
yeah,
because we haven't got as much capacity. Think about think about that pint of water, juice, right? if you this isn't about giving you more capacity. This is about giving you tools so you can make a bigger glass,
Mm,
right? Because some of the things you can't not do,
mm,
some of the things you can offload
mm,
or delegate to other people and this, that, and the other. But if you've got this like inherent thing, it needs to be all me and I need to do everything and I'm the one and I'm
mm.
this. It's like, okay, well, let's look into why for that.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's make that glass bigger because if your glass is near the top, if you've got, you know, let's say you lose a business deal and your kids are kicking off and you've had shit today and you've not been able to, for whatever reason, if you're taking everything that you haven't done and you take it as a self criticism or a failure and you start that self chat that really sort of is a big detriment, you're not going to be able to have, I'm not going to be able to pour more juice into that cup without you overflowing.
So it's almost like you're saying if you self-sabotage,
Yeah.
then you're gonna affect
The
the
ripple
rest of it.
effect.
Yeah, the ripple
Yeah.
effect. Yeah.
It's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
So if life happens to you and you're already operating at like almost like a full pint glass, if you're already full and you're stressed out and
Mm,
you haven't got a lot left and you're having one of them days or weeks or months
mm.
and like there's a lot going on, if you think about it, if there's more things going to happen, you're going to overload. That's when you're going to blow, or you're going
Yeah.
to pop, or you're going to react rather than respond, or you're going to burn out, or you're going to go, "I'm fucking done. I can't take anymore."
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas having tools and practices and support to actually teach you how to maybe offload
Yeah.
some of the juice that's in that glass,
Mm.
so to give you more room to take on more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not about letting go of everything and becoming zen and being on a yoga mat the rest of your life and
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
everything up. No, no. We are supposed to
Do do
thrive.
you do you think that because I feel like this is a conversation I think more people are talking about burnout, stress, anxiety, depression now more than ever because it's such a well spread. But do you feel like almost like we because we're told this is burnout, but this is how you deal with it. Like you said before about the antidepressants, but there are ways that people could be dealing with it. Do you feel like it's just this is the problem, here's the solution, NHS go, there you go.
Exactly.
Mm,
Burnout is incredibly, incredibly personal.
mm.
Because what burns me out wouldn't burn you out.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
then I could have shame because, well, I'm shit because it didn't burn Mike out, or the other way around.
yeah,
I can do something and make a choice about something, and you can't because
yeah, yeah.
you're not supposed to. That's not how you're built.
Mm,
Then you could start being like, oh no, I'm shit because
yeah,
I can't do what Katie's doing.
yeah,
And there's this outwardly comparison all the time. And when you don't have as much capacity, those thought processes of lack
yeah, yeah,
or victimhood or you're not able to pivot in your business when you're drowning. You're not able to see clearly. Like I said before, that tunnel vision
mm,
when you're like trying to survive and keep everything afloat. And like, like if you tread in water,
mm,
eventually you're going to run out of energy,
yeah,
right? Whereas if you've got tools and practices to help recharge you and build you back up, if something comes into the business, you can pivot
yeah,
because you've got that ability to be
yeah,
able to
yeah.
go and think clearly.
I think it's such an important thing to mention as well because I've known people that are fantastic business owners who have no longer got a business because they didn't know the way out.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's such a shame because this is what happens. People build a business. The business might not do as well as they thought. I'm going to close it.
Mm,
That's fine,
mm.
right? But then sometimes you think all you needed was maybe a steer in the right direction.
Support.
And do you know what the biggest fucking killer of people's passion is? Social fucking media. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, they're on all day again. Oh my god, they're in that. Oh my god, they're doing that. And then behind the scenes, they're fucking drowning.
Mhm. 100%.
And that's why I refuse to now just post about the glorious stuff. I want
Exactly.
people to know we nearly lost the business. I want people to know where I was
Yeah.
because you are watching celebrities or influencers living a life which they'll upload a video for 90 seconds. They go, oh my god, but it took them 60 fucking takes to do.
Mhm.
It's not a life.
No, it's not. And it's not reality. And I think, again, the whole point about burnout is it's a very physiological thing. There's something very chemical that's going on in the body, but there's like a real big spiritual element to it as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
because also burnout can be that you're just not living a life that's built for you.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I say this like entrepreneurship, being a business owner, it's like frigging personal development on crack.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It can be frigging brutal.
Do you know what? I'm gonna be
Do you know what
straight
I
with you. The
mean?
word entrepreneur, I didn't even fucking know what it meant until someone
Mm.
said, "Oh, you're an entrepreneur now." I went, "What?"
What?
I'm self-employed. I'm a business owner. I now say I was working sales,
Mm.
best thing I can do.
Yeah.
And I actually say I'm a telemarketer.
Do
And
you?
yeah,
Mm.
because they go, "Ugh."
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fucking ace. I would rather people think that I'm working on a rower desk making hundreds of calls than actually realize it because it gives me more power. If I say to someone I'm working telemarketing, they think I'm calling them while I'm watching the chase. But when I break it down, they go, "Oh,
Interesting.
it gives me more of a story to tell." Which
Okay.
actually, the LinkedIn mask, I call it. You've
Mhm.
said anyone looked on your social media and pictures the day you're opening the office,
Mm.
you wouldn't have had a clue that you were dying inside. Better choice of words. I know it's morbid, but I've been there. Right? I
Mhm.
remember when we moved into our office in Ellesmere Port. We had a two-story office. We were popping champagne off the fucking balcony at a big party, and I remember every week thinking, "I fuck it. This is not why I set this company up." But
100%.
I got so deep into my own shit that I was like, "How do I get out of it?" It
Exactly.
cut breaking point. It took to
Mhm.
the point, but we're founders, so as a founder, you're incredibly well. We do incredibly good, don't we, at masking the collapse. That's what we are. We mask the collapse, and we got to be here. We got to set the presence high. We got to be the guys on LinkedIn, on Instagram. People go, "Fucking hell, they're flying." And it's like crack, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's like
It is,
John
but
Caldwell said it. John Caldwell said he when he owned Phones for You before he sold it for like 8 billion, or whatever it was,
mm,
he'd have a good deal. It'd be like crack, but then 10 minutes later he would
mm,
fall back again.
mm,
He's such an incredible business owner,
mm.
because he's just so raw and honest. But one thing I've got for you is who we're actually trying to protect with the mask is it your clients, is it your business partner, or sometimes is it your own ego?
Everybody,
Exactly.
everyone,
Yeah.
everything. Because okay, the other part of the confusion that was literally twisting my head was, hey, got a business owner that you can trust. You got a great relationship with him. He's got his family. I've got mine. I've got my health, which I didn't really have because as a woman, like my periods had freaking stopped at that point.
Mm,
There's another kind of massive red flag, especially for a woman,
mm.
obviously, not a man. I had the office that was mine. We'd renovated it. It was not like just an office. It was like, it was everything that I wanted. And I was like, the shame and the confusion that I had being like, why aren't you happy? Why is this not enough? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
was that voice inside that was like, and I'd started seeing a coach actually, and she was amazing. She was actually a business coach, but she ended up started being like my life coach
yeah, yeah.
and like started therapy because I'd done therapy, like I said, back in 2016, helping with PTSD, and that was just a fucking car crash. She's just sat there taking notes, and there was no empathy.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me. That particular style, anyway, wasn't for
Yeah,
me.
because you got to find what's right. Like we said before, it's about trying it once,
Exactly.
not working. Okay, I'll try something different,
For
right?
sure. I'm not here slating any approaches. I'm
Yeah,
just like, and again, which is why it's incredibly personal, because for what does or doesn't work for me doesn't mean that that is going
gonna
to
work for
work
someone else.
for
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
else.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, funny enough, me and my wife, I've been in therapy since last September,
Mm,
and my therapist,
amazing.
Pablo,
Oh.
he's the nicest. I've mentioned him a few times on here, and he's such a lovely guy.
Mm,
But I've known people that have used him who said I don't find him beneficial, whereas I
mm.
find him fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So sorry,
That's
yeah,
it.
go on, yeah,
No, no, it is. You're resonating with the point, and it's important because
yeah,
you're like, oh, that resonates because that is also going to help you even embody more of your own resonance. Like,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
going to go, oh, no, it is all right actually that
yeah.
I do, like his approach, and it doesn't matter if
Do you ever
somebody
find
else
though,
don't.
she will go, "Oh, it's like food. Oh my god, do you like that?" And you're like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, I fucking love Madras." Oh god, it's like
I love
I
Madras.
fucking love
I'm a
Madras. I've
Madras
said to
girl.
her,
I love
Madras,
that.
Madras, Vindaloo, Cayman on. Yeah, I like the gym. My
Love
brother's my
that.
PT and he's listening going,
Is he?
yeah, my
Oh, I
brother's my
love
PT. He's been my
that.
PT for 3 years now.
I love
Yeah, he
that.
works the Hilton. He was on the show. He was our second guest.
Oh,
But he listens to him and he's like, "I've heard you drinking your wine. Yeah, you're tracking your
ah.
fucking calories."
I
Like I've got my own bar, mate. I'm not fucking. I'm
was
not
gonna
tracking
say,
everything.
yeah,
But that's the thing. People look at this and they go, "God, he must be on the piss every night." I'm not. We actually lock this up and only opens on weekends.
the name is just so good. It is so
The
good.
one rule is you can come sober, but you leave done.
Well, I won't be today 'cause I've got to drive and get my
Yeah,
little
yeah,
girl from school,
yeah.
but,
Bless you. You
maybe
are
another
always,
day.
yeah, always welcome
Maybe
back.
another day. Thank you.
But no, I know what you mean by that about like you get the office, and I've been there. And I know for a fact there are going to be people listening to this. Not necessarily just business owners, by the way.
Oh,
You're
absolutely.
talking,
Any high achiever.
well, partners, people that are parents, because some people have everything, and on paper they go, "Oh my god, they've got the house, they've got the car, they've got everything," and you're thinking, I'm not happy."
Exactly. And what is happening in our society, Mike, is people are then consuming more,
Mm,
chasing more. It's the dopamine hit.
yeah,
That might well be buying, shopping, traveling, cocaine,
yeah,
alcohol, whatever it is, high rocks, gym, high output all the time, cold dip, this, that, and the other, more fucking noise. And actually, sometimes, a lot of the time, it's actually being brave enough to go, do you know what? I accept I'm being honest with myself. And it's really fucking hard to be
yeah,
honest,
yeah.
really hard, which is why my program actually is called Honora,
Mm.
which is Gaelic and Latin for honesty,
All right, okay.
to be honest. And
Yeah.
people say, like, "Katie, your honesty is brutal," or whatever, and it's like, it's the most loving thing that I can do
But
is be
I said
honest
this
with
to you
someone.
before, even
Yeah.
when we were younger, and you're not a scary person, but you scared the shit out of me when we were kids. But that's not because you. I can still remember being. I remember being on a park one day, and you asked me something, and I didn't know how to answer. And I think you said something like, "Just answer the question."
That's why see, that is ADHD,
I
undiagnosed.
no, that's not a bad thing. But I was only like 13. I was like, "Oh my god, this fucking girl is so scary." I don't think I came out for 2 weeks, but that's not against you. But no, I'm joking.
Yeah.
No. You're not like that. But
No,
as
I
but
probably was intimidating though, but
but I know, but
not by,
you were
like,
just you just want answers, right?
yeah, but also I had this, like, I had this very, again, locked in
Yeah,
survival way of having to think and be, and there was a lot of rejection in my life, even, like, with
yeah,
my friends at the time. You know, the first 2 years of high school for me was fucking brutal, even though I was in that group,
yeah,
popular group. No one would really know actually what was going on. The
yeah.
girls knew, but anyway, don't need to necessarily go
No,
into
no.
that,
But
so to
listen,
speak, but
if it's any consolation, the same guy who bullied me in primary school bullied me all the way through fucking high school. And I know he probably listens to this and he'd go, "No, I didn't," but he was a bastard.
really,
And I don't give a shit
yeah.
if he is it
Mm,
because his actions made me, whilst it made me a bit weaker minded at the time, and I think it's that I do think bullying, which I'm going to touch on in a later episode, is the fucking world's worst fucking.
yeah,
I
it's
have got time for
horrendous.
bullies. I say to my daughter, if you're being bullied, tell me. But if I ever find out you're bullying someone,
100%.
you expect to get it from me because I think
Yeah.
I know we're going way for being track here, um, but it's interesting this. Now I'm asking you a question
Mm,
on the bullying. It's just come to me now.
mm.
Do you think things like when people are being bullied or going through a tough time, and they have to act up a little bit. Do you think that is an early sign that burnout is gonna hit them first?
As in
As in, so
in
like
what
me,
do
I was always trying to impress people. I was always trying to be the joker of the club, and I was always because I was going through so much shit. Do you think that is like where things start?
it can be. Again, it's incredibly personal.
Mm,
There is no there we're taught in life there's a blueprint,
mm,
right? There's a method, there's a way. You start here, you go down here, and you get to that. Our condition in our society is like there is a way.
yeah,
There's one start, there's one end because we regurgitate. We
mm,
want that clear path. And I'm like, could be, might be yours.
yeah,
Absolutely could be, might
I,
not be mine.
I've been listening to it thinking it must be. I think one
There's
thing,
something that's resonating for you there then.
100%.
So
Yeah,
even in that,
yeah,
there's something that's resonated because you could argue it for me because my hyper survival linked to burnout was being felt like I was misunderstood.
mm,
I was not wanted. I was rejected. I
mm,
was used. All these different things
yeah,
made me, I mean, yeah, that they all have contributing factors.
yeah,
And that's why burnout, it isn't like you're just working too much. Like I said, it could be that you're living a life totally out of alignment.
yeah.
It could be that you're putting up with people and things that you don't need to be. You might have a narcissistic partner, you know, difficult time financially, health, whatever it is, it can all have its place. And that's why
Contributing factors. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's why my work isn't about saying week one looks like this for everyone, week
Mm.
two. It's about what's going on for my,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
my job is to mix my science with my intuition, with all the skills and my methods that I've learned over the years, all the different aspects
yeah,
of
yeah,
life, whether it's health, fitness, financial, nutrition, stress, business planning, family planning, relationship, emotional,
yeah.
achievement. literally, it's so vast. It's just going, what's going on for my
Do you find that people who are gym goers, people that tend to eat healthier, look after themselves a little bit more, do you tend to find they're easier to sometimes deal with than someone that isn't fitness because their brain's automatically wired to be almost what's the word I'm looking for? Like, because they go to the gym every day, they're
mm,
regimented. Do you
mm.
find you can sometimes get no disrespect to anyone listening that you go, do you find they're sometimes easier to talk with?
Not necessarily easier because there's an element of performance
Mm.
generally,
Yeah, yeah.
because you tell me what to do and I'll do it,
Yeah, yeah.
rather than actually having that authentic inner inquiry or the ability to go, how do I feel about that?
Mm.
For example, you could be a marathon runner. Have you ever had a story about someone that has a heart attack and they're the healthiest people in the world?
Yeah. I actually know one of them
Yeah.
who
Okay.
goes to our gym. He's been working out for 40 years, never smoked, hardly drinks, had a heart attack, nearly died.
Interesting.
And when he was asked why, stress from work.
There is a huge this is again, this podcast could go on for days, mate, I'll be
Might
honest.
do.
Um,
Part 2 coming tomorrow.
there you go, there you go.
Listen, this you can speak as much as you want.
So, I never generalize. However, there are studies that if you are a quote unquote people pleaser, you're the one that is dependable, the one that, is never loses the shit. God, they're so nice, they're
Mm,
so kind, they're so calm. It's not to say that they're not nice and they're not calm, and it's not to say that that's a bad thing and you should be losing your shit everywhere, because again, that's
mm,
not. But there's something to be said for the one that's always quiet and smiley and
mm,
happy. What are they suppressing?
mm,
Because I've got a book, right? It's about this thick. It's about 700 pages, and it's called Metaphysical Anatomy. Your body's talking. Are you listening? And actually, this is a very different take. This is taking it down a very different road. But there's a lot to be said for Western medicine. The way doctors are trained are to prescribe based on the symptom. If you have a bad back, for example, it
mm,
might be not that there's anything wrong with your back, but there's something, the root cause of it is there's something going on in your knee, or
mm,
there's something going on in the way that you're walking and your
mm,
posture that it's having an impact on your knee, on your bottom of your back or in your shoulder.
mm,
An issue in your shoulder might be down to your hamstring.
mm.
Doesn't necessarily mean so you've got all these doctors and
Yeah,
scientists
yeah,
and everything, all these surgeons, not surgeons, that's not actually relevant, but all these specialists just on that particular bit of your shoulder.
yeah.
But you've got specialists looking into this one area.
When it could be something else.
Yeah. And I'm more about the root cause.
So there was a guest on called Dr. Tom McElwright. He's a longevity doctor, and his
Interesting.
episode was absolutely fantastic. And he was telling me that his clinic in Chester, new clinic, he does like a full MOT of your body. So the
Love
way he
that.
says it is, it's like a car. The car looks fantastic, but what's under the boot? What's under the bonnet?
100%.
And it really resonated with me because it's like you're looking really healthy. Like when people say you're looking really well,
Right?
and you're like fucking great, but then deep down you're thinking, I've had about 2 hours kip, and I am
Exactly.
absolutely shattered. So it's
So I'll interrupt you there.
no
So
good.
on that, there'll be an element of your system that will then have a belief or a survival belief potentially that what could happen is you could go, oh, well, I actually look good. I get a compliment or I get praise on 2 hours sleep. So that means, okay, well, not that you're going to just adopt your life on that, but you could then, but if you hear that a lot, then you could absolutely create this belief that you can have no boundaries and work all night and all
Mm,
day
mm.
because of that. That's how
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
impressionable we can actually get to.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Your brain's like a sponge though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You hear a compliment once and you go, "Oh, I'll do that again. Oh, that shirt looks nice. I'll wear one again."
But so's your body, your
Yeah, yeah,
nervous system, your body also has a language.
yeah.
And that's why I think I said to you on the phone, it's not just about mindset. This is
Yeah, yeah.
actually creating a connection and bringing your mind and your body back into alignment, bring everything together. They say like your head and your heart.
Mm,
Your head's your thinking, your
mm.
heart's like your body.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes when it's in conflict, again, that can be. You could reach burnout if you're in a relationship
Yeah.
and you're not sure whether your libido's gone. All these things that can all
So this
contribute
is
to.
a really interesting fact of this. I don't want to get too personal, but we were struggling for years to right, to have a child.
Mm,
When our diets changed, when we were going to gym, we were getting sleep, we felt happier. it changes. And I say, and then obviously it's a bit silly because remember when Jeremy Carl was on, you'd have like a crackhead who had like 9 kids, and I'd be like, maybe I should just do that.
They didn't give a shit.
Yeah, yeah, they didn't care. They didn't
No,
care. There was no stress.
literally, you could have a heroin addict pop out 14 kids and they're not. And so there's again, this is about balance. But if your body inherently doesn't feel safe enough,
Mm.
it's not. You're creating the environment. If you know where your benefits are getting paid
Yeah, yeah.
and you're probably really quite present in your life, you're an
What
open
do you give a
vessel.
shit?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'll have another kid.
I
Fuck
always
it.
knew I should have been a crackhead. You used a brilliant phrase on one of your posts. You were dragging yourself through cement.
Mm,
So, and you couldn't, so you were dragging yourself and you couldn't even give your best to your clients anymore. When your body finally pulled the emergency brake, as I call it, and you were forced to exit that 50% share of the business, did it, and let's be honest, because I've been there myself, did it feel like a failure or was it pure raw survival? You've used the word survival quite a bit.
yeah. So the business got so I sold my half the business to my old business partner in April 24. That I was out of the survival by that point, but I was still on my journey because I'd started helping people through breathwork. Basically,
Mm.
that's one of the main ways that I managed to turn things around. And I'd sort of been helping people on the side. I'd basically studied for nearly 12 months to become a breath coach because I was
Well,
like, "Fucking hell, like, this is incredible. Like, I'm not taking any pills, I'm not taking any
mm,
tablets, I'm not doing any of these things, and I'm healing, I'm getting better, and all these things." I was uncovering
mm,
life, and I was like, I want to learn
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
That's just part of my nature as well. I'm like, oh, I hated school. No, didn't hate school. Give me a teacher that was engaging, I'd smash it, like, I
Mm.
loved it. Give me a teacher that just
I could name a few.
yeah, like Mr. Cabin, for example, he was class at maths, loved him.
Yeah,
Loved Mrs. Fowler
yeah.
there was just certain
I know what you
teachers.
mean. And I think this is a thing about school, and I've got to be careful because my sister-in-law's she was a teacher. She's actually left set up her own business now. But I went back to Upton High
Mm,
about 3 or 4 years ago when I did a speak to sixth formers,
well,
and they were like, "Oh my god, what did you leave school with?" I was like, "Nothing,
mm.
no qualifications." I
It's
think
not what the school wants
I
to
made,
hear, is it?
but my
They need to
GCSE
hear it.
spelt help.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, or fudge. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know what I wanted to do. Similar to yourself, I
Yeah.
just kind of fell into sales, and then I said to them, "I'm not telling you that don't worry about school leaving nothing, but I'm telling you that." If you do leave school with nothing, don't let it define where you're gonna because you so there's a chap I know, been at McDonald's since we left school. When he
Mm,
left, we all used to call him a burger flipper, and now he's a regional director. He's earning 7 figures,
there you go.
and he's got 4 or 5 houses, but he was the best at what he did.
That's it.
So I say to everyone, you're gonna do a job, fucking do it the best of your ability.
And that's where for me the self-connection piece really comes
Yeah,
in
yeah.
because if you can regulate yourself and if you can be really fucking solid in who you are,
Mhm.
you can literally do anything.
Yeah.
That is when you can then lead a life of alignment
Mhm.
because you know your shit, you know yourself. See all these external factors that could take you down, whether
Yeah, yeah.
it's opinions or external factors, they're less likely to take you down.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
and
mean?
that's why I always say about fitness is that if you can get up in the morning, get to that gym first thing, right? Your brain has already switched on.
Yeah.
While everyone's pressing snooze and you're an hour into your workout, you're already winning the day.
Mm,
And I know it's not for everyone. My wife has to go in the evening to the gym because we've got the kids, right? She's
mm,
not a morning person. I am.
yeah.
But I always find that once you've got that balance of going to that gym in the morning, certain things change in your body, in how
You're
you see
physically
it.
changing the chemical balance though.
Yeah, but
You're
that's it.
physically changing what's going on.
Exactly, and then your brain becomes more wired and
Yeah,
more switched, and I do genuinely believe if I hadn't have been going to the gym and working with my brother, maybe that day on the 8th of September would have been differently. And I say that confidently, because
yeah,
I have to be honest with myself.
yeah,
But yeah, I know what you mean about being how we're engaged in school.
yeah.
Like there was a couple of teachers I had were brilliant, but there was a couple I just fuck it.
Same.
I
Didn't
just look at
deserve
my timetable like, fuck's sake, why am I with them?
I was good in school. If you've got me engaged, I'm like one of your best students.
Mm,
If if you either disrespect me, you don't treat because that was the thing, like, I hated being treated like,
mm.
you know, child
Yeah,
necessarily.
yeah.
I was a little shit. I would like pretend I was on my period, make the teacher feel really uncomfortable and just go and have a fag and be like, I need to go to the toilet. And they're like, Kate, you're not going to the toilet again. And I'd be like, I'm on my period. And they go, oh, okay. And I'd literally go and smoke in B block toilets. I was a little shit. I was. Literally, that's what I would do. I'd just be like literally fagging it in B block toilets. I did. I was able to manipulate it in that way, but again, that comes from being hyper aware, and
Yeah.
it's a skill. But going back to your other question about the business. So when I sold my business, it had kind of gone to the point where the way I was helping people and coaching people behind the scenes, it was like I can't. If this isn't fair, one, it's not fair on my other business.
Yeah.
Two, I was really okay. When I was in that burnout, I have a way. I believed that the business needed to be worked on and not both of us in the
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that in and on, there was a mismatch going on.
Yeah.
So because I was feeling really low and I was struggling, I was like, oh, well, that means I'm wrong. Okay. So I lost my inner authority. I lost my ability to speak up and go, well, no, I stand by this, and that's not being stubborn. That's being able to have two truths that can be absolutely
Yeah. Yeah.
correct
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whatever. But then it got to the point where I was coaching more and more people behind the sidelines. It was a passion project and I was getting purpose. This purpose within
Mm.
me was like fucking screaming. And I was like, I can't not listen to this anymore. But it took me 18 months. No, nearly 18 months to actually decide that and approach him and say, this isn't for me anymore. I
How
think
did he
I'm going to
take it?
go. Probably not great.
No.
But I can appreciate, you know, I'm not going to project and say it happened in a certain way. It's a shame how it ended. But I just had to stay true to
Well, this
myself
goes
and
back
what
to
I
what we were
needed.
saying before. When do you start looking out for number one?
Exactly.
Because you can't live.
No.
Mate, I did it.
He do you know what I mean? Give him his due. He tried to support me, but I wasn't able then to still actually it didn't feel like it was my business because I felt the guilt that he probably had to like hold the reins a bit
Yeah,
whilst
yeah.
I was going through what I was going through. So
At
I
least you were
felt
honest to him because it could have
that's
been,
it.
you could have carried this on and imagine down the line, well, I'm fucking doing all this, and you just explode and you go, well, I'm trying to do
Yeah.
two different things. And also, kudos to you because you sacrificed, you recognized something and thought, you know what, I want to help.
Yeah.
It's so admirable the fact that you took that step and said, I can carry on doing this, or I can find my purpose.
Yeah.
And that
And I tried for it to be coexist, and I do believe that there could have been absolutely a way for me to stay involved in that business, but as more like a distant director. But he didn't want that. And so I was like, okay, I'm gone. I'm going then.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So I sold mine. And then coming up with that was like a whole fucking death within itself because that was this whole identity that
mm,
I then had to, as much as I knew there was things going on behind the scenes and I was getting better and I was finding myself more, then I actually had to speak about it and go, people are going, what? You selling the business? And I was like, why? And it was like, oh, it was really confronting because like you've got that judgment all the time.
because you
People judge you
portrayed it on
changing.
social media.
Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was like,
yeah,
fucking hell.
yeah. Give me a break.
Yeah, but it was like, I've got to own it. So
Yeah,
there's an embodiment that I had to find. So when I say that like personal entrepreneurship and having businesses and stuff is like personal development on crack or on steroids, like it really frigging is.
yeah, yeah,
And that's the level of support that I want to, and I am bringing
yeah,
in
yeah.
with my coaching and how it's evolved so much over the last few years because my own situation has evolved so much
Mm,
because as we naturally grow, our perspective changes, or it alters, or it deepens, or it heightens. So,
mm,
and I think that that's the same for everybody because I think if business owners are running their businesses on that survival, that high
mm.
output, that's not
Well, I think
sustainable.
it's what's really good is the fact that you're going to help business owners. So there's a two prong attack for me for this, which I think is just remarkable. You're not just helping business owners. You would like to think them business owners are then going to help their staff.
So this then bleeds me into my corporate aim
Yeah,
because corporates are okay. I'm just going to say it. Corporates are getting on the well-being bandwagon, right?
that's my next thing.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Here we go.
But no, no,
Ba-dum-bum.
yeah, you beat me to it.
corporates are getting on the wellbeing bandwagon, right? And you've got all the bosses that are like, okay, I need to spend a certain amount,
Tick a
ticking a
box.
box. There you go. There you go. Oh,
We didn't revise this.
we
By
did.
the
We
way,
genuinely didn't.
just one take.
This is like,
Yeah.
this is good. I like this though because there's alignment. I love that.
Yeah.
And they're ticking the boxes and all this, but they're kind of being like, you're expecting you're expecting the work to change at the ground level. No, no. You as the business owner, you as the entrepreneur, you as the principal, the CEO, COO in the business, whatever, you fucking lead by example.
I call it the total wellness bollocks.
I love that. Because
Because
it is.
my wife's so we've got two mental health coaches. My
Mhm,
wife's one,
mhm.
naturally, and Chelsea
Like a
is one.
first aider.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
mental health first aider.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we've given a lot to people, and I know people are going to work for us that have listened to this thinking, "You're talking about me." Well, if you think it probably is,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have been a prick. We've given people months off work, full pay for mental health,
Mm,
and they've still fucked us over.
mm.
Doesn't mean we're going to stop doing that, and we were doing that 4 or 5 years ago. We were giving people months off work. I've been there,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, sorry, yeah, go on. I know what you're saying about the wellness ticking the box. Yeah.
Yeah, and the tick in the box, and again, the intention is right, right? But the higher we climb,
Mhm.
generally, you've got okay, what people don't necessarily realize is the likes of Steve Jobs or
Mhm.
all these billionaires, they've all got coaches. They've all
Yeah.
got the people behind them.
Mhm.
All the
They stand
all
by it.
yeah, exactly. They've got all if you're an athlete, you've got a coach, you've got a nutrition, you've got all these things. Footballers now, they all have their own coaches, mindset, you
Mhm.
know, body and everything as well. But actually in our society, there's a lot of shame around that. And it's like, no.
Mm.
Sometimes in a session with my client, we could be talking about, okay, why can't you delegate? Or how can you delegate? The way I am, the way I've come to accept what I am is I am a strategist. I see holes, I see patterns in people, and I'm able to help work with someone
Mm.
and go, here's a strategy. Let's put this strategy in place to achieve X goal or
Mm.
whatever it is. But in the well-being space within corporate, it's like if you're trying to change the culture from the bottom up, it's the wrong way around.
Mm.
It's like have your manager have you
Mm.
be grounded so that you can listen to what you've got the capacity to listen to your manager's issues. So then you help the managers be able to then deal with the staff, have that ripple effect down.
Mm.
They're trying to come at it from the bottom up, and it's the other way
Yeah,
around.
because at the end of the day, if you have a team of 20 and you're trying to help them and they're going, "This is really good," but they don't give a shit up there. You're
Exactly.
just battling with each other.
That's it. And then it's like, one, is it a waste of money?
Yeah.
It can actually like have a detriment on the communication and the culture
Yeah.
because it
But let's
can
tell me to
actually
do this.
separate.
Yeah, but Katie said I'm gonna do this. Yeah, but I don't give a shit because I want you to do it like that. Here's
Exactly.
our HR documents that you've got to follow. But why did you pay
Exactly.
for this woman to come in and do
Because
this?
you're ticking a box.
Yeah. So then you've got to go to the HR, but then by this point, the trust is gone from the bottom.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
That's my point.
yeah. So I suppose let's take, for example, you've got your, which I'm going to touch on the breathing and stuff,
Mm.
but not even into what you actually do yet. This is ace. Fucking ace. So, you, for me, there's old school HR
Mm.
who I fucking hate.
Mhm.
I don't care if they hear me. I don't like them. I
Mhm.
think you're still working in the 1980s. We're in 2026 now. We've been through a global pandemic. Mental health is the biggest, most spoken about thing now, especially men's mental health. And you're still trying to get guys on site to fill in a document that was being done in the 80s, right? How do you change their mindset?
How do I?
Yeah, because when you go in and speak to an old school HR manager and they bring you in, how do you?
Generally, and that's what's difficult, to be honest.
Mm.
And I'm doing some work with the mortgage industry mental health charter charity to try and make a difference within the mortgage industry.
Mm.
And I'm explaining to them that you've got to, in order for something to come across with conviction,
Mm.
generally there's something that you would have needed to walk through yourself
Yeah.
before. Because people can feel that. If you'd know if I hadn't really gone through anything and I was just spouting shit that I'd read on Instagram because it's looking a bit trendy,
That's why I love Marcus
you'd
Tings.
tell.
That's
Yeah,
why I love that lad because he's lived it, breathed it,
yeah,
suffered it, and he come out the other side.
yeah. That's it. The resonance that you feel from him, you're going to feel that difference as rather than someone like jumping on a bandwagon or just doing something to. The most motivational speakers are the people that have lived it.
Hmm.
So my angle is experience it.
Yeah, yeah.
Experience the shift for yourself so then you can be that ripple effect to talk about
Live
it.
it, breathe it, and
Yeah.
then you can. And I agree with that. So it's like it's all about reading. I've just finished reading Mel Robbins' book, Let Them.
Let them.
and all of that book, even though she's misjudged, like, that book is her experiences.
Exactly.
But I love the way she brings in experts in
She's
fields,
great.
and yeah, she's fantastic. And
I did a post about it last week. It takes a village.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Did
yeah.
you see it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It takes a village to raise a child, but yeah, it takes a village to heal the adult that child
yeah,
becomes.
yeah,
It's like my approach isn't just the one thing. I don't have the ego to say, if you was to come to me like, Mike,
mm,
I'm everything, but I'll. What happens with my clients is generally they are, and I'm not. If this isn't a blanket statement, the trends that I've noticed with my clients is they generally have the transformations a hell of a lot quicker
yeah.
because it is a bespoke approach.
Do you prefer working with smaller businesses or larger ones?
It depends on the culture.
Does it? Yeah.
Again, it's
So
not.
do you have to learn about the culture? Do you have to go in like do you have to have like a tick sheet and say, I need to know
I
this,
have
this, and
done,
this?
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it's finding the right corporates that actually want to do it.
Mm,
Because again, generally they don't see it because they don't see the investment in it, so to speak, if they haven't gone through it themselves. So generally a smaller business is better.
because they understand the pressures.
Yeah, and they're able to make that difference because, the untapped benefits of actually having a program or having solutions like this and the way
Mm,
I teach is your staff turnover is going to reduce. Your staff sickness is going to reduce.
mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Sales are going to go up. Ah, again, this is another conversation in itself, but where I'm at now is I've really been fine tuning things over the last 2 years since I sold the business, like 2.5 years ago ish now.
Mm,
I've really been fine tuning
mm,
this and really being like, okay, who is my ideal client?
mm.
Who is it that I want to work with? What are the trends? What can I tweak? What works? What doesn't work? Rather than
And I suppose
coming out.
that's gonna change constantly,
Of
isn't it?
course, it'll
Because you
change.
could think one minute, "Oh my god, I absolutely love it," and this, and then a sales company come along and you go, "Oh wow, I've got a separate." Because I suppose you have to build like separate sort of programs for separate companies, or do you take bits? Because you've got different. You have a whole plethora, don't you, of
It's
different.
bespoke,
Yeah, yeah,
and it is bespoke, and there's not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not working with like loads of companies. Like I haven't. I've worked with more business owners and like high achievers,
yeah, yeah.
but the company that I did work for in that level was very much like, "Tell me what your problems are."
Mm,
And it's them trusting me
mm.
with that and me going, "Okay, well, we start here and we can do this and we can do
Do you
that."
kind of look at say, look, you're here, but I suppose it's a case of understanding where do they want to get
It's
to.
like consultancy,
Yeah, yeah. And do you
basically.
have to, is it sort of like you advise them on how long it will take, or do you just say, "Look, use me as and when you need me"? What's the sort of
It
program of that?
again, it depends because it's only as impactful as how it's taken up. Do you know what I mean? But again, I said you've got to create the conditions for the people to do it. So you
Mm.
can't expect people because boundaries for people now since COVID with employers and everything are shocking.
Yeah, yeah.
People are working from home more again, which is great. There's loads of flexibility, which is great. People's boundaries are shit. They're working till 8, 10 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock at
Yeah,
night, and you're employed, and it's like, no, you've your employers are actually expecting that of you, and it's like, no,
well, I say to the guys in the office, so obviously being in telemarketing, everyone thinks you're in a row of desks, right? They've all got the ability to I say to them, "If you wanna work from home," obviously, we pay for the office, so go to the
yeah,
office. But, like, in the summer holidays, there's most of the staff have kids. So I'm like, "Right, listen, if you want to work from home to be around your children, I do not mind."
yeah,
'Cause your kids have to come first, right?
yeah,
That goes right back full circle to start. Like, your kids have to come first. As long as that work is being
gets done.
done and our results, because we are a target-driven business, and that is
Of
fucking
course,
pressure. And I don't wanna put more pressure by saying, "Make this many calls, send that many fucking emails." They're not driven by that. I asked everyone, "What are you driven by? Is it the incentives or is it working from home? Is it freedom?" Because Sean says it best, "If you're working for money, you are working for the wrong thing." Everyone wants to have money. If you want £1,000,000, you'd want £2,000,000. You'd wish, right?
exactly. It's that
So
fulfillment. Like,
right?
when's it? Why?
So
Why do you want the million? What does
work f
that mean? Where
work
does
for
that come
freedom.
from?
Work for your freedom. Have the freedom to say, like, I'll say to the guys, "Maybe smash it, go home at 12. It's Friday.
Love
Go
that.
go and enjoy yourselves. Go and spend time with your kids, right?" After 5 o'clock, no one's fucking bothered anyway. So, I'm always looking at, like, from the mentality of when I was in that role, what do people want? And you only know
Exactly.
by asking that question,
Yeah,
what do you want?
yeah.
"I wanna earn more money." Okay. We all wanna earn more money. We can't earn more money unless we
But
hit
why?
well, we
What's it
can't earn
for?
more money unless the business hits this, this, and this number, right? So how do we get you to want to hit that number?
Well, I've got a particular program that I've got, which is I'll say it's fine. Regulate to elevate,
Oh, I like it.
and it's teaching people in sales
Amazing.
the differences on how expanding your capacity will increase
Well,
sales.
it'd be really good. I'm not just saying this, it'd be really good to get you in and meet the team and
Yeah.
do some work with us. And that is the next thing, obviously, we want to talk about. What one thing I'm really interested in what you do
Mm.
is the breathing. You've said
Mhm.
about this breathing, and I've been trying. I didn't want to jump the gun, but
Mhm.
I've also seen a testimonial online. Talk to me about what is the actual of it? Is it breathing? Is it what? How do you? Is that what it is?
Basically,
Yeah.
it's the first thing that we do when we're born.
Okay.
We take our first breath,
Mhm.
and it's the last thing that we do.
Mhm. That's
But we're
deep.
not taught.
I like that.
We're not taught.
Mm.
We're not taught how to breathe at all. Now, breathwork is so nuanced. It's so in depth. There's so much to it. You can use breathwork to ease anxiety, ease depression, get you fired up before you step on stage, get you chilled or focused before you go into an exam, start a podcast, do the things in life, keep you calm, stop you from reacting to your kids. I've actually had so many clients say that they are literally shagging like in rabbits with the partners because like things happen. So basically,
Sean,
yeah, come on, love.
she's gonna think you absolute bellend.
She's probably thinking, if she's just heard that, she's thinking, what are
The
they
fuck
talking about?
is
What are they talking about? Okay, so using your breath is allowing you to work with your body and what's going on.
Okay.
People say, I have anxiety.
Mm,
If I was to ask you, what is anxiety?
mm. For me, my anxiety is the fear that. So I sometimes make and Sean says it, I create a scenario in my head that hasn't even happened yet, and then anxiety kicks in,
Okay.
and it's like, shit, we're gonna make payroll. Oh shit, we're gonna do this,
Hmm.
and then sometimes it's actually not even bad, but
Okay.
because my brain's already wired into that way, I'm getting better.
Hmm.
But anxiety, I think everyone has their own levels of anxiety. Like
True.
Sean, shouldn't laugh. You come home from from a hen do. Shouldn't laugh. She came home from a hen do the other day, and she got in at 3 in the morning, and the plane had the worst turbulence. But because she was hungover, she didn't even say, "Hey, babe, I'm home." She just went, "Babe, the plane was really bad. I just thought we were going to crash." I just opened one eye and I was like, "Where the fuck did you just come from here?"
Yeah.
So her anxiety was this plane feeling going up and down. She didn't sleep all night. She was like, so it was like embedded into her. Does that make
It
sense?
does make sense. So another question then based on that. So that's your thought perception on anxiety, what it is. What do you experience when you have anxiety?
Oh my God. I have moments of failure. Like I'm not doing the right thing with my kids. I'm not a good business owner. You know, I could be doing better as a husband. Why is this happening? Oh my God,
Okay.
this happening again. Shit. Everything's on fire. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Thanks for sharing. What happens in the body? What do you feel?
Like a clamminess,
Okay.
like your tummy, almost like your tummy's getting a bit tighter. Just tiredness, sluggishness, like just wanna cry
Okay.
in a nutshell, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what if I was to say to you that anxiety isn't necessarily something that you have? It's your, it's actually what your body, it's the experience that your body is giving you.
Mm,
So, anxiety isn't, like I said, it's something that you have, it's something that you're experiencing. So, it could be clammy hands, heart racing, breathing changes. Your body is ultimately giving you the sensations. And this is why I bring the mind and the body together because the first answer to the two questions, which isn't incorrect, were mind based, what you think. So
mm,
when I said to you what happens, you went straight into what you start thinking about and then the fears, what your head is
mm,
thinking. Whereas actually what's happening is your body is signaling first because it's pumping the body through the adrenaline. It's thinking, the brain is sending the messages to the body, and the body is responding by flooding it with pumping the heart rate up, feeling an emotion. It's creating a chemical reaction in the body to get you to take action and move. Essentially, that can be what anxiety is. So
right.
when you start, heart pounding, adrenaline and cortisol is getting pumped because it's sensing fear.
Mm,
Remember what I said before? As if our ancestors were in the caves. It needed to run or you were going to get chased.
mm,
It needs to pump. The body thinks it needs to, because it's sensing fear. It doesn't know whether the same fear is the bear that's coming or the person that's chasing us
Yeah,
or the fear that you're going to let somebody down.
yeah, yeah,
Fear, it's the same thing, but your body can't.
yeah.
Your mind will have different interpretations of fear. All these different, like if you to do like a spider graph, fear, what all these different fears mean
Mm.
and can feel like and the things that you'll think about, but your body interprets fear.
It's quite mental, really, because I was in a when I went to Maple Grove School, I actually put the word fear on the and I said, "Tell me what fear is." Sadness, unknown, and I said it's got a double moral phase. So fear is, fear everything and run.
Yeah,
I said, but if we flip it and put face everything and rise,
that's the one I know. Yeah,
yeah, I said one's a red word, one's a green, and all the kids were like. So now you've said all that, I'm thinking I need to just have that slide, maybe just tattooed on my arm here,
maybe,
maybe I don't know.
maybe.
But yeah, anxiety. I speak to a lot of people have it, and they always say they
It's
just feel
it's generally
petrified.
it's sensations because it feels fucking scary.
Mm,
Your heart's pounding, you feel like you can't breathe. Everything's sometimes you can even, like, tense up.
mm,
You could breathe too much, not enough, whatever it is. So what breathwork basically is how in that one scenario with anxiety, you can use your breathing to alter what's happening in the body.
right.
I first got introduced to breathwork when I was pregnant. However, when I look back, I used to be shit scared of flying. Shit scared of
Yeah, yeah,
flying. And I didn't fly till I was 16, and it was when I went on holiday with my boyfriend for the first time.
yeah.
And the night before we flew, he knew that I've never flown. He was like, "Oh, we should put a film on." So, "Oh, this is a really good film, Final Destination, the first one." I was like, "You twisted bastard." I was like, "What?"
Why the fuck would you do that?
He did. Anyway,
Fucking
I
hell.
know. So I watched that. So I was terrified of taking off. Terrified of taking off.
Fucking hell.
Literally, I used to fly for years. My go-to, I'd put my sunglasses on, I would have chewing gum, and I would put the hoodie over my mouth, and I didn't even know I would connect to my breathing. I would literally get so connected. I'd never done it before,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's why I know it was in me. And I would breathe, and I would just get present, and I would get calm. And then once everything calmed down, come off, and I'd be all right.
So what's your thoughts on like meditation and like the wellness apps? What's your thoughts on all that sort of stuff?
I mean, yeah, they can be great for
Mm,
sure. But again, your own physiology is incredibly personal.
mm.
So the way I can help my clients can be, like I said, it can help ease that
Yeah.
anxiety, that fear, that self chat all the
Mm.
time. Because ultimately, fear as well is that it means you're not being present. You're either worrying about what's happened in the past or you're worrying about what's happening in the future.
When sometimes it hasn't even happened at all.
Exactly. But breathing and having an element of practice with meditation or breath work, whatever, is literally practicing on you being present.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you can be present right here, right now, nothing else, and with yourself,
Mm.
that's an incredible skill to be
So
able
you
to
you you
build.
so what you're basically doing is, which is incredible, is you're taking people away from a scenario that might not have happened yet, but they think it is, or a scenario that has happened and it's replaying in their mind. You bring them that
Bringing the
moment.
body and the mind to catch up with each
How long
other.
does that take to learn?
To learn, oh god, I mean, I'm always still learning.
Yeah.
My fir so when I first started breath work, I'll tell you the first, like, time, I was feeling really, really bloody low, really low,
Mm,
and because also breath work, you can breathe in certain ways to get you pumped. If you're really depressed, you're generally really
mm,
sluggish, you're on the sofa a lot, you're sleeping in, got no motivation, you're just like, "Oh, whatever." You can breathe in a certain way to get you fucking fired up
mm.
and be like, "Right, come on then, let's go."
And what's the difference then?
So you're either using your breath to charge the body up and, like, get stuff moving if it's depressed because your nervous system's in a particular state,
Mm.
which again, these are all the things that I teach because actually when you teach it, it's like, "Oh, that makes loads of sense." Doesn't have to be super scientific,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Or if you're really charged a lot, you go, the breath can calm you down, so it can fire you up or calm you down. But
Right.
you can use it in loads of different ways, and that's why it's so fucking good and it's your own.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? It's nothing external. But yeah, I was messaging a guy on Instagram, and I resonated with a lot of what he was talking about. And he said, "Kate, do this breath work at home." And it's like a YouTube video. And I did it. And I remember I was working from my sister's house that day actually. And I did it and I followed this 20-minute guided practice. And I hadn't felt so alive in fucking years.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck was that? I've never touched drugs. Used to smoke weed when I was younger. Not done anything like higher than
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
A few poppers at a festival, do you know what I mean? Like that's about it. But I was like,
Oh,
what came up with
that's
me
fucking
was
made my
like
day, that is. A few poppers.
few
They
poppers
don't
at a
need.
festival
Yeah,
sometimes, you know. But I was like, I feel like I'm on drugs. I feel
yeah.
high. It was mad. And anyway, I just I practiced it a lot, did it a lot. And then I was like, been on a few retreats and it was incredibly healing. And that I entered the breathwork world in the more of like the trauma release side of things. It was quite the heavier side
Yeah,
I
yeah.
started in. And I was like, oh my God, I can help all these people. I had the best intention. Oh my God, I can help all these people and release people's traumas and they can find themselves and all this. And again, you know, I know I talk like I'm taking the piss out of myself, but the girl, I had good intention and I still do. And that's not to say that I don't do that breath work anymore with people I do, but I
You've
was,
expanded your repertoire, haven't you, what you can do?
yeah,
And that's incredible.
100% because I was doing like group events. And no matter what disclaimers, I had an amazing breath school that taught me the ethics, the science, the boundary setting, like all about me being the best facilitator that I can be. Um, but I was going in, no matter what disclaimers I was putting on workshops, no matter how safe I was still getting people coming in that into a group workshop that they'd paid for on Eventbrite. No matter what contraindications I would put on there, whatever, I would open the session up and they'd be like, yeah, I'm here because I tried to commit suicide 3 weeks ago. And I was like, you shouldn't be fucking breathing like this because if you're in that dysregulated state where there's a lot going on, the last thing that I would recommend anybody do is create more charge. It's like we just want to like calm things down gently and treat things like that snail, the tortoise approach. Because in our society, we're so conditioned to chase dopamine, the drama, or the quick fix, and whilst it can provide temporary relief, and that's fine, when you're working with the breath, it can be incredible. You can re-traumatize
Yeah.
people.
And also, I think since we left school, things have got worse.
Exactly.
Because social media, like, I'm on social media, you're on it. I won't let my daughter go on it.
No,
She's not allowed a phone. I don't care.
no,
Her friends have got, she's in primary school. Some of her friends have it. She's got a phone. She has got a SIM card. She doesn't feel
yeah,
like YouTube and that. Um, but I've said no.
yeah,
You're not having it.
yeah.
Like
Same.
she has like a kid's TikTok account, but she can't. No one can see it.
Yeah,
She's allowed to upload it because we know it's no one's going to see it, right?
yeah.
But I feel now the pressure, and from a society, you've used the word society a lot, and I completely agree. The pressure that children, even adults, are under now
All of us.
to look good, to feel good, and there is so much conflicting information flying about, and that's why it's good when you get someone like yourself come on that says, "I'm not trying to tell you that your way's bad or it's better than mine. You're just genuinely trying to express what you can do to help,
You
right?"
that person, because again, I'm different to you. You're
Yeah,
different
yeah.
to your wife, your kid, your child, your people that you employ, your mum, your dad. We're all different.
Mm.
Stop trying to put everybody in boxes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that does take time. But again, I just have to keep remembering I am the ripple effect because my marriage is stronger. I'm a better mum.
What's it I don't mean to be personal, but
Mm.
what's at your house? Is it do you have, like, a calm environment in there? Like, is are you what does your partner do? Sorry.
He is an electrical engineer.
Wow, okay.
Very stressful job.
Yeah, yeah,
He's a
absolutely.
fucking stresshead.
Is he?
Yeah.
I just can't imagine it.
We're not the same.
That makes it work though, right? The yin and yang. Like me and Sean, so I'm like, "Oh my God, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna fucking" and she's like, Mike, whoa, 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 let's just focus on part A
Interesting.
here." And she's the one that brings me back in.
Yeah, interesting. So in answer to your question, is my house super calm? No, right? Being regulated doesn't mean that you become, like I said
Right.
before, you're that yoga mat yogi. Oh my God, love and light. And oh my God, like I so don't get pissed off anymore.
It's like the hippie culture versus
Yeah,
like, yeah, yeah.
yeah, basically. Do I lose my shit? Yes. Do I lose my shit as often? Absolutely not. Have I got the capacity to be able to try so many different ways first? Absolutely. If I would be robbing anybody of the experience of life by portraying that I'm not human.
Mm.
I still get upset. People still will upset me and piss me off. I'm still going to fail at things. but my go-to, my default isn't to lose my shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know that it's like, because people say all the time, "God, your voice is so calm," and I find that bonkers because 'cause I'm like,
I
"I
don't think you've changed a bit.
really?
No,
I
apart
love
from,
that."
but I do think you are like but I've not seen you properly since I've seen you at nutrition
We did
2
see each
years
other at
ago,
nutrition.
with your family. But you don't you don't seem any different. You just seem like you've got, and this is, I say this with love and respect, purpose.
Yeah,
Because I didn't know you in your working life, but from listening to your story to now, you seem like you got a purpose, and
yeah,
I think that's incredible. But you've had to get there through real strong challenges, right?
yeah.
And that's what I say to people. It's like when I went to that primary school the other day, so I would never have done that a few years ago. But
Mm,
because a lot of these children I met, they were going through ADHD, autism diagnosis. They're
mm,
not sure what the world has for them. If if I could go and speak to them and say, "It is, you're going to enter a big bad world where you're going to be met with rejection from jobs. You're not going to get the job you want. You might get the job you love and fucking hate it." As I,
mhm,
that's the wonderful thing about life,
mm,
is that you can be knocked back a few times and still keep going.
yeah.
And it was such a honor and a privilege to meet these kids and really speak to them and just
I love
spend.
working with children. I
Well, I was
think
going
they're
to say, like,
incredible.
we're talking about the adult side of it. You must,
Teenagers.
to teenagers and even younger than that.
For sure, and again, and this is where I do, because I am naturally very entrepreneurial. I have ideas. I can't bring to life everything,
No,
right? We could, but I can't. I've done work with teenagers, and I think the state of teenagers right now is actually diabolical.
yeah, I
I
agree.
think it is so sad how lost these kids are. I also think it's incredibly sad how lost the parents are.
Mm.
And when you asked me before about how what my house is like, my house is very real. We're very we're dealing with an 8-year-old child. You could She's incredible. She's going through what she goes through. She's 8. My intention as a mum is to allow as much as I can without to allow as much as I can to allow her a safe space to express whatever she needs to express, and I'm gonna not judge her, and I'm gonna hold her, and I've got the emotional wisdom and capacity and the tools to be able to encourage her to be whoever the fuck she wants to be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And that might be that I don't choose to work 12 hours a day or whatever. I choose to live my life in a way that is an example to my daughter whilst building a business.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I know that will probably go, "Oh, well, that's all right for her."
Some people that probably haven't done it though.
Yeah.
And I really want to point this out if anyone's listening to this, who listens to this because they enjoy podcasts. Because again, I love a podcast. I'll be able to listen to your podcast. Okay? If you listen to this and one, if it resonates with you, then pick up the phone, right? You take your call. But then also, if you listen to this and you haven't tried it before, but you're scared to, start.
Yeah.
But
Just start.
start and know the support, because that is the biggest thing about being a business owner, entrepreneur. We think, right? Oh my god, right? I need to be like direct Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
I need to be like this person because I'm seeing all this, and I'm I've been really fortunate to share a table with some of these people that we see on TV. They all say the same thing. Don't fucking work yourself to the bone. Stephen Bartlett's renowned for saying about burnout and how, like, he went on stage and he had no sleep. People think, "Oh fuck me, I need to be like that." And I'm sat going, "You really
You
don't.
really don't.
You really don't need to be like that." Like
You
it's
don't. What
that
one of the biggest skills that you can, learn for me is knowing who you are
mm,
and having the ability to walk through life. Okay, the perception for me, I could have still sat here 10 years ago and had a really honest conversation with you. I've always been an open book,
yeah,
but the way I feel sat here, I haven't got any anxiety.
mm,
My experience is different in
yeah,
life.
yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes people may go, "What? You were insecure? What? You were this, you were that." And I'm like, the way I walked through life generally was I was genuinely so uncomfortable in my own skin.
Mhm.
I felt rejected, like I said before. I had abandonment issues, like all the things. Hence why I was this like hyper independent, probably really defensive girl.
Yeah, I
Do you
mean,
know what I
well, when I said
mean?
before about like scary stuff, I think, no, but I didn't mean that in a way that was like insulting. I meant you always struck me as you were. If I go back to us being kids, right? We were
Mm,
on that park
mm.
or the field behind the beach. You were always someone that seemed more ahead.
Interesting.
You always seemed like you were older.
Mm. I felt it, to be
Yeah,
fair.
but now you say all that, it makes sense, and I think
Yeah,
it's important that if people there's gonna be I really hope young people listen to this and they go, I'm there." 'Cause it's interesting to get the views of these people.
100%.
I've got a couple more questions, and obviously
Yeah.
I'm conscious of time. Um, this is one that someone's actually asked me to ask you. So
Oh.
they've put you, this is from Steve. He put, you sell workplace performance packages to businesses.
Mm.
How do you pitch breathwork and regulation to an old school CEO who thinks performance only comes from longer hours?
I ask him about his life.
All right.
Again, it's through that, um,
'Cause have you
you've
had
got
that
to
before?
experience it. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I asked them to experience it. I asked them to go in within themselves, ask them a few questions about their goals or what they experience on a day-to-day basis, what might be their challenge or whatever it might be, experience a particular type of practice, and they go, "Oh my god, I feel so much different."
Mm,
And then they go, "Right, okay." So, because then I'm very much like, don't tell me like I need to know like why. So I teach in that same way.
yeah, yeah,
But also testimonials, obviously. But it's through empowerment through knowledge.
yeah, yeah.
Like they've got to be able to understand it, not just be told what all the benefits are.
Mm,
Okay, tell me what rather than me pitch to you, let's say you are that old school business owner, rather than me pitch to you because you've heard wellness, you've heard this, you've heard that. If I'm just pitching at you, you're not going to resonate because you're
mm.
just like, I'm just being sold to here, blah, 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 blah. But if I find out about you, your business, your challenges, what's your culture like, what are the main challenges that you're experiencing? If your sales dropped recently, is your sick rateness up, is your high turnover, are you spending thousands on high turnover of staff, whatever, what's going on? I just have a way, which you can't really explain.
Yeah, because your way's different to everyone else's,
My way
right?
is different, but I've got an ability to be able
W
to see where there's holes.
Yeah, we got approached a few years ago by
Did you?
a wellness coach,
Mm,
and a lovely guy,
mm.
but he didn't ask me any questions. He spent 2
There you
hours
go.
telling me about how he's gonna help, and in the end, I went, "Look," I said, "I'm a salesman. My
Mm,
job is to ask questions."
mm.
I was like, and obviously you can tell from doing podcasts, I ask questions all the time.
Yeah.
Not just to be intrusive, but I'm it's the same if I'm trying to find something out about a business of how I'm gonna generate them revenue, because 'cause I'm gonna ask a business for quite a lot of sum of money up front, right? But why am I doing that?
I
I
love it.
need to understand why a business wants to part ways
Yeah.
with and use our business for lead generation. We're very fucking good at what we do. We generate
Mhm.
millions, if not billions, for people,
Wow.
right? And we just work on the phones,
Mm.
you know. So I need to ask questions, and if someone doesn't start asking me questions about me or more so my business, I've got red flags. I'm
There you
thinking,
go.
uh, how can you sell? Prime example:
You don't know
got a
me.
got a call yesterday from another lead generation provider. Hadn't looked at my website, hadn't looked at what we do, and he was
Hate
like,
that.
"We can book you appointments." I'm thinking,
Can ya?
and I'm thinking, well, I said to him, I said, "Do you know what we do?" And he goes, "Yeah, you're a marketing." So I went like, "Look again." And he must have pulled it up on his computer. I went, "We're a lead generation provider, mate." I went, "We do what you're
I'm
selling to me."
cringing for him.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. I said, "Go and do your research." I said, "Just remove me."
Yeah.
But
I
so
love that though.
yeah, you've got to go and do some research. I would say research. Like me, I couldn't just bring you on today and start asking you all these
I
questions.
love this.
I've
I can
sat there
tell.
and I've looked because I have to
I was gonna
know.
say that to you off mic. I was gonna say, love that.
But I've got
Love
to.
it.
Every single person's episode that comes on here is broken down, and then I do and I have to know where my start and end
Yeah.
is. Because if I just come on and go, right, tell us about yourself, we'd be done within 5 minutes.
Mm.
Yes, okay, some of these podcasts last longer, but I love it because I, I I don't want to do a podcast which is the same shit. I want to do a podcast where if people are on a long trip journey, they can listen to you talk about this breathwork and they can listen to your life. Maybe if there's a mortgage advice. So if someone's what you've done, that's what we want to get to.
Yeah.
All right. So last question for me is what is the actual measurable business cost when a company ignores staff well-being until people start quitting?
I mean, I don't think there is one set amount. It literally again, it depends on the business. The immeasurable amount. It depends how much you are spending on your HR.
Well, that's
Do you know what I mean? How much you spend on your HR teams.
what's the biggest mistake HR departments make when trying to implement wellness to prevent
Oh,
burnout?
well, again, it's understanding what the challenge is within that business.
Mm,
Because, okay, okay, my approach could be that depending on the type of business that you've got, depends on the demographic within your teams. I've done work for a company called Kafkas, which are, like a national they deal with really high, what's the word? Like social services,
Hmm.
they're like Kafkas are the ones that above social services, basically, so they've got quite a traumatic job.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done work with them, and again, I tuned to the team. I was like, "Well, what are your team experiencing?" They're dealing with a lot of traumatic families, like, all
Yeah, yeah.
different things. Again, that's different. I had another firm that I've done work for that generally their team were actually generally really healthy.
Mm,
They looked after themselves, they went to the gym. I was like, "Okay, so what's stagnant?" Well, there's a few people like, not really perform. They're they weren't all fired up. They were all just like posting. It wasn't growing. So I was like, "Okay." So they're all interested in the gym, this, that, and the other. So we looked at how they could empower themselves by like expanding their health now, like
mm,
improving the HRV. So there's different ways that you can use nervous system regulation for different types of businesses and
mm.
teams and cultures and things. But I think that's where it's getting it wrong because I think so many people see wellness as this like $1 trillion business, which again it is, but you've got people that just want to come in and tick a box and will just you can let's be honest, you can generate a program from ChatGPT if you want to.
Correct. And that is, so I'm one of them with like fucking, don't. So I did a test, right? I did a week's worth of ChatGPT posts on my LinkedIn
Mm,
and got fuck all.
mm,
And then I did 2 posts in a week, 'cause I'm always posting on LinkedIn. I try and be as regular as possible.
mm.
And I did 2 posts personally, and it got loads and loads of love and loads of likes. And
Interesting.
it's quite funny because when you work in telemarketing, no one wants to like your post because they know you're gonna pick up the phone. Whereas now I just don't.
Mm,
I just email them saying,
interesting.
"Thanks for the like.
Yeah,
Thanks for the
that's
like.
nice.
I'm here if you need me. If
Yeah.
someone views my profile, hope you're all right. If anything, you go." I'm not a salesman where you got to be making 100 calls a day. I
Mm,
refuse to be like that. I don't want my
mm,
staff to be like that. I want them to make 30, 40 calls and get a good result. Let's get them because it's about ROI. And with what you do is return on
exactly.
investment, right? But your return on investment is different to mine.
Exactly.
Yours is performance level, and
Mhm.
mine's revenue.
Yeah, but also it can be revenue with, like I said, the regulate to elevate,
Yeah, yeah,
because if
yeah.
you're coming at it from a sales perspective and people wanna go, let's say your team is sound, right? Let's say you've got
I
no
hope they are
issues in the
like,
business.
or don't
Well,
know.
but they could be.
Yeah, yeah.
You could have actually with because your culture sounds pretty fucking strong because you are probably leading very strongly from the top down, right?
Mm,
That would be my sort of blanket assumption compared to other business owners that I've spoken to, right? So your approach with this type of wellness or whatever, I hate that word wellness, but it's one that's,
Well, it's a trigger word, isn't it? And
it
it's probably
is.
the most spoken about word now.
Yeah, well, it's watered down anyway because it's like anxiety or ADHD. Everything's like a buzzword. It's like watered down. But anyway, you could use nervous system regulation practices or using the skills that um, and the approaches that are relevant to you to just elevate their sales. It's not
Mm.
all about fixing.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
all
yeah.
about when things are bad. And this is the other side of how I help with clients. Like, not all my clients are like at burnout. A lot of
Mm,
them are just, I had a guy that was a business owner flying, pulled up at my house in a really freaking nice Porsche. And I was like, okay, fair enough. The guy goes to the gym. He smashes life. He's got a great work life balance. We used breathwork for him just to elevate, just to literally create more
mm,
capacity, making that jug or that pint glass
mm.
bigger by using certain practices and stuff
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
really that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna ask you a question.
Ask me anything.
Don't feel like you're gonna answer. I ask everyone this because this is where we go full circle,
Mhm,
and I have a feel I know where it might go.
mhm.
What has been the hardest moment you have faced so far in your career now, professional? What's been that moment where you've gone, "Fuck"?
I feel like there's 3,
Okay.
but I'm trying to pick one.
Well, use free. What's the hardest moment, Sam?
Hardest moments were feeling when I was achieving unapologetically, I'd want everybody to achieve with me, but there was always I would always get shit everywhere I worked.
Mm,
because I'd come in and I would just smash targets.
mm,
People didn't like that. And, oh, fucking hell, yeah, I faced a lot of, yeah, there was all the, and there's ownership. There's obviously elements where I was probably really like focused and it probably seemed a bit like heartless or whatever at times. But anyway, there was always something. And it was difficult when I was trying to get back into work after maternity leave that things had changed. And yeah, rather than just telling me that my job wasn't there anymore, tried to create something else.
mm.
And that was really difficult.
Yeah.
That was dark,
Mm,
because it kind of set my PTSD back off a little bit
yeah. I can
in
imagine.
2018. So 2 years
Yeah, because
later.
where how do you handle something like that? Like,
Yeah.
welcome back. By the way, your job's not really here, but we've made one for you.
Well, yeah, it was interesting because that was a really great, when I look back and reflect as well, that was also a test for me to, I have a natural skill of sensing stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Tell her my wife.
really. Well, it's
Yeah,
women's
she knows.
intuition as
She
well. Do you
fucking
know what I
knows.
mean?
She will know when something's not right. But then
Yeah,
I'm the same in business. If I know someone's gonna leave or I know someone's not right, I will say,
you get that
"They're gonna
sniff,
go."
don't you? You're like,
Yeah, I've
you
done it
can
before
use
and I've
it.
gone there going,
But I used to be like, oh, makes me really judgmental, or I'm really negative. Like, no. But again, that's a skill to harness.
"Yeah."
Anyway, so there was that. Second one has been when I sold the business, like when I finally made that decision. Oh my God. I had a mic, like the day, 2 weeks, no, hang on. Yeah, December of 23, I said, I don't think I can do this anymore. I think I'm out. He said, take Christmas to think about it. Come back in January. I was like, no, I'm going to give it a go. A week in, we were so misaligned on stuff. And I was like, no, it's time. I need to sell. The day after, I had a migraine that I was in bed for 3 days, a migraine, and it was not the way
That's like
I
pressure,
understand the
isn't it?
body.
But
The
yeah.
pressure's been released. The pressure was releasing because I've been so in my head
Mm.
for so long about it. It was like, oh, and I remember at the time thinking, I'm lying in bed here, literally physically thinking like my skull is going to crack. It was bad,
And when you
but
got kids as well, that's even harder, isn't it?
it was hot. My husband was amazing.
Yeah.
He
He
cracked
sounds like
on.
yeah, it sounds
Do you know
yeah.
what? I adore that man. He has supported me through. We support each other.
I
We're a
adore him. I've
team.
never even met you, and I adore him.
Oh, you'd get on with Jim.
Yeah.
He's sound.
Well, I met him in a
He's
nutrition very briefly.
yeah, no.
I think that day, I think he was hungover or you were or some I
I
think you
don't know. Was
I
he
remember
there?
yeah, you were because your daughter was trying to see the cows and I was like, "Do you wanna come through?"
Oh,
and you went, "Are you Mike?" And I went, "Oh, shit, yeah, Jim."
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, I wouldn't even say he was here there that day.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Um, no, Jim's,
Brilliant.
we've been together 18 years now.
Amazing.
Like and again, I think you only stay together that long if you both remain open to communicate. I think that's the thing. And there's been times where I've grown or he's grown, and it's like, oh, are we still on the same path?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so far, we come back together, and
Amazing.
it's good. So there was that side of it, the business finally walking away, being brave enough to walk away,
Mm.
and the third one is building this.
Yeah.
Is it is confronted every insecurity, every self doubt, every
I was not expecting that.
yeah, it is confronting everything in me because there's no mask to this. There's not that there's a mask, but there's no character
I
to
get
it.
you.
It's not Mortgage Katie. This is Katie. And it's like feeding into that. Am I enough? Am I chosen? Am I going to be rejected? Am I going to fuck it up?
Yeah.
All the shit.
A lot of, I suppose the anxiety in a head start coming out, don't they? Am I gonna be able to help people? What if I can't help people?
What if I let people
Yeah,
down?
what if I let people down?
What if
That's
I'm
the
not
I think
chosen?
that's the biggest one that everyone thinks of. What if I let people down?
100%.
And I think naturally as humans, we assume that we're always. I do think humans genuinely think, "What if I let people down?" I
Mm.
think it starts when you become an adult. When you become a parent, second you hold that little child, you think, "Oh fuck, I've got a new responsibility now."
People pleasing starts when you're a kid as well.
That's
Do you know what I
exactly what I
mean?
fucking did.
There's, you know,
I used to try and people please everyone, but it was because I got bullied so much. I was like, "Oh, I need to try and make sure I'm keeping
the
everyone happy."
character,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
And I'd be like, "Hang on, let
Happy
me."
Mike, go
Yeah, yeah,
Laughy
yeah,
Mike, all
yeah.
the things. So yeah, those are my three because, like I said, again, entrepreneurship is like if you choose to go this way and you choose to live a
Mhm,
life of alignment, like it
mm,
can feel at times. If you want to build something sustainably, it can. be challenging because to do that, you do need that support
Yeah.
because someone is going to throw the mirror up at you and challenge you
Well,
on your
yeah.
fears, your beliefs,
Well, Sean
and
didn't
someone to
start the
encourage you.
business with me. She had a career in semi-permanent makeup.
Did
And
she?
when
Yeah.
yeah, then last September was the first time. We'd been through hard times before. I can remember going on holiday, our first family holiday, and we got there, and our biggest client decided they weren't going to pay us, and we couldn't make payroll. And that didn't just happen once. And
It's
I'll be
tough,
honest,
that.
oh, it happened 2 or 3 times.
That's tough, that.
And it was, but the problem is that everyone thinks it's our fault, and you get people saying, "Well, I don't understand, we're flying." It's like, yeah, but you don't fucking realize there's PAYE, there's NI, there's rent. So
Mhm.
my fault for not keeping my eye on the ball, but that was hard. I spent the first week of a 2-week holiday in Greece around in the lobby of the hotel while
Yeah.
she was in the pool with our daughter.
Yeah.
Happens.
It's all
It
it
made us stronger
does,
people. But
for sure.
she took a lot of that shit on, and
Mm.
that's why I adore her because she left her career and she doubts herself. She has doubt now where she's like, "Am I doing the right thing as an MD?" And I'm like, "You are."
Oh.
And we have big conversations now, and it's
Mhm.
never easy. But
Mhm.
she's like, "I don't know if we're doing the right thing." Or I like that moment.
Mhm.
She thrives under chaos, and I love off it. It's
Mm.
mental, really.
Mm.
I've got something I want to ask you though. It's called the 19-year-old self.
Oh,
If you
okay.
could sit down with the 19-year-old Katie, who just got her first job as an underwriter, eager to prove herself and ready to run on adrenaline for the next 2 decades, what is the one piece of advice you'd give her to make sure that she survived the journey? It's always interesting when you ask someone about their younger self because they go, "Oh, fuck."
I feel like I'm literally looking at her.
Mm,
You've got to choose yourself. Choose yourself. Believe in yourself. Be vulnerable enough to ask for help.
mm,
Be brave enough to ask for help.
mm.
Be brave enough to speak up for yourself and continue to just be who you are because you're a good girl.
I
You're a
like it.
good girl with a good heart
I
and you
like
can
it.
achieve a lot
I
and you
like it.
will. That's what I'd say to her.
I think you've done incredible.
Oh,
I think you've done amazing. I think the fact that you've been through all this, and you've come out the other side, and now you want to learn and implement that. I think it's a testament to you. It's a testament to your strength. From someone that's known you a long time, I would say just keep doing you because you're doing
oh,
great.
thank you,
I
mate.
mean that.
Ditto. Right back at you, mate.
Yeah.
You're
So
doing an amazing thing with this podcast and everything else that you want
trying.
to achieve as well. Good on you.
I might be able to afford a proper podcast camera eventually. If there's any podcast cameras listening you want to help me, please send them over. The phone
Absolutely.
works for now. So yeah, I've got nothing else to ask. Have you got anything you want to ask or
What's next for you?
world domination? No, for me, I've learned to just enjoy the moment, take it as it comes, stop trying to be the master of everything, get it right, get something right, and then move on. Um, I'm just happy. I feel for the first time in a long time like things are going well, and I'm happy with that. I've got 2 wonderful children, an
Mm,
amazing wife. I've got a great little family. Um, I think what's next for me is just to keep doing this
love that.
and take one step at a time.
Love that.
Yeah.
Final question.
Okay.
What have you learned today? Or your biggest takeaway?
That failing is just part of the process and feeling vulnerable is normal and that I need to start some breath work after this.
Love that.
No, just enjoy your life. Yeah, I think everyone needs to take something away from every single episode, and I'm hoping that people do. But even if they don't, they can always go back and re-listen. Because that's the wonderful thing about these is that they're there, they're in the open, and people can come back to them whenever they want. They can listen and they can go, "Shit, I missed that one, but I can go back to it." Right? Well, this
Is
has
it?
been about 2 hours.
Fuck off, has
I
it?
don't know. I don't know. I've not looked, but it'll be quite interesting when it's broken down
But
to a 5-part series.
I was gonna say, I can talk,
No,
so
it's ace, and it's ace because like normally I've got to ask a lot of questions, but you've just been an open book, and thank you for being so vulnerable with us as well because you've spoke about a lot of really deep shit, and some of it I can relate to, and I know some of the other stuff that people can relate to, but kudos to you. I suppose with what you're doing, you have to be quite vulnerable and you have to be open with people, don't you?
lead
Um,
by
one
example.
bit of advice I'm going to give you is
Mm,
keep being you. Like, please keep being you and keep helping people because you've spoke a lot about when you were younger, and I still feel like there's some of that there, maybe in some ways. But seriously, I'm going to be like,
I love that, and something I appreciate that, thank you. One thing I've come to realize and learn is that it will always be with me because it's part of me.
yeah, yeah.
It's never anything to get rid of.
Mm,
Information is everywhere,
mm.
right? Integration is rare.
Ooh, I like that. And last piece of final pump from me
I love
is
this.
that tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Interesting. Love
Mm,
that.
all right.
Love that.
Right
Thank
then.
you.
No, you're more than welcome. Thank you for joining us. So, everyone, that concludes another episode of Business, Life, and Other Bollocks. Katie, you've been amazing. Where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram mainly at the moment at KATYLEHMAN _ or Katie Lehman on LinkedIn.
There you go. Katie's amazing. If you listen to this, get a chance, follow her, watch her videos, maybe look at the website. And if you're a business owner watching this and you want to get the best out of your staff, or you maybe need to find yourself a little bit, I would really recommend getting in contact with Katie. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Right then, guys. Well, I will see you all soon. Any questions, feel free to drop me a message. And yeah, take care. Bye bye.